going on, everyone? It's episode 181, recorded on Sunday, September 10th, 2023. I'm John, and hey, Drew. Two nuns are riding their bikes through some old Roman streets. One says, "I've never come this way before." The other replies, "It's the cobblestones."
It's Monday night, which means it's time for another episode of the Dads After Dark show with your hosts, Drew and John.
What is going on, everyone? And on tonight's show, we have new switches, switch rumors, and bundles galore. Fall cleaning is here, so of course that means we'll have some useless topic to discuss. And of course, our video game review scores straight up fucking broken, John.
Yes.
Buddy, how you been? 2 weeks, sometime 2 weeks just feels too long, right? It's like, and it happened to be 2 weeks, kind of a lot happened from the video game world in the last 2 weeks, right? So it feels long. We haven't chatted, we chat every day, but I like this face to face, How you been?
Yeah. No, it feels like we had somebody in our group say, like, "Hey, where's the show?" We really record every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And then remember we had, we used to do strictly 2 weeks, and then we had the Betwixt. Do you remember the Betwixt?
Yes, I do remember the Betwixt.
And we would do weird things for the Betwixt, and then that kind of went away. And then, we can do any number of shows, reaction shows or whatever. But this time we just took a little 2 week break. I kicked off another podcast, so I won't say I was busy with it. But it was just like, all right, it's like first day of school, right? First day of school, I'm tired. I'm not going to do anything after school or whatever. But we'll be back on it. We'll have
let's put it this way. We're a 2 week podcast. If you get one in between, just be happy and lucky that you did. Because sometimes John and I just, we just want to chat. And now, to be honest, now that it's football season, we actually like recording on Sundays, so we'll put the football game on and we'll try to watch it in the background. So it might encourage us to record more, but just remember, we do record every 2 weeks. That's our schedule. We try to do it in between when we're just having fun or there's a new topic or we just want to hang out. That's what happens.
Yeah, I like recording too, so I don't like to go 2 weeks. Like I enjoy doing something, but sometimes it's like, let's take a break,
Yeah, it's okay.
It's nice.
Let's just take a little break. I agree.
We're back now. We're back.
So John, PlayStation Daily, tell me about it. What's your motivation behind it?
I have been thinking about the potential of daily podcasts. I've thought about it for this show. I've thought about it in general. I've thought about it for an iOS programming show, just like something I could do. And it just sort of hit me one day. I was like, I want to do a PlayStation show because like Drew doesn't want to hear that shit. And I thought like, I want to do a show that talks about various aspects of PlayStation. And I was like, well, what can I do with daily format? But it's like, nobody can do a podcast every day. You can't do a podcast every day. You'd go insane. You'd like finish it. And then like for one day, and then like the next thing you know, you have to be ready for the next one. And, but I do this show. Sometimes I pre-record 2 or 3 at a time. And they're 10 to 15 minutes each. They're really nice. Drew, you'd find it amazing. Like I start recording, and before I even know it, I'm like, oh my God, I only got a few minutes left and I have to like hurry it up. It's like they go so fast. It's amazing. I did one today talking about what I've been playing, and it was so fast. It's insanity. It's really weird. So like, I feel like I can almost like take my time. I hope I don't like rush too much on this show. But yeah, been doing that. And then finally got to see the final season of Barry. I don't think you've seen Barry.
I do not watch Barry.
Barry is a HBO show. It stars one of my favorite SNL cast members, Bill Hader.
I do like Bill Hader.
And he is a serial killer. I mean, if I describe the show, it's gonna sound like Dexter. But
never seen Dexter, but
he's more of a hitman. Wow, really? Oh,
you've told me to watch Dexter. I just haven't committed to it.
Yeah, Dexter's really good. But Bill Hader is he's a hitman, And yeah, I mean, like the whole show revolves around him being a hitman. He's an ex-soldier, and it's a remarkable, like the first season he joins up with a theater group, and it's pretty funny, and he finds this girl that he really likes, and he starts doing this theater, and it's hilarious because I love when actors pretend to be bad actors and things like that. And it's pretty good, but every season is very unique and different. The first season's funny, the second season was very dark, third season got a lot funnier, they kind of fixed it up. But I hadn't seen the fourth season because we rotate our streaming services, and it was really good. It was it actually has a time jump. I love a good time jump in a show. And fantastic. And Fred Armisen made it into an episode. SNL royalty again. The guy gets into everything, and no matter, even though his role was like 15 seconds, he nails it every time. He's amazing. And I like the way it ended, but there is a character in Barry. His name is NoHo Hank, right? North Hollywood Hank. He's played by a guy named Anthony Kerrigan. He has what's that condition when you have no hair, no eyebrows, no?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Alopecia, or look it up. Look it up for me. But yeah, he was inflicted with.
If I find it, you think I'm going to be able to pronounce it?
When he was 3 years old, he got it, and yeah, so he has no hair. He is one of alopecia.
Oh, there it is. I have it in front of me.
One of the great characters I've ever seen in a show. One of the great side characters. He is so funny and so good. I mean, he stole the show. I had no idea about him when we started watching the show. In the first episode or two, I was like looking at my wife going, who is that guy? He's incredible. And absolutely one of the greatest roles I've ever seen. He is so good. He was on Gotham. I haven't seen Gotham. And a couple other shows, but yeah, absolutely incredible. And yeah, so if you haven't seen Barry, it's 4 seasons, and I think it's like 8 or 10 episodes each one. It's totally worth it. It's hilarious, very dark humor. And the guy from Office Space is in it. What's the guy's name? Stephen Root is in it. Okay. Bill Hader. Yeah, it's incredible. So I'm glad I finally got to see that. And yeah, and so we're watching Silicon Valley now. We're up to just about to get to season 4.
Oh, I like that show.
That's a really good show. Funny. It's perfect for me. Like, it's just coding jokes.
It does.
Great. The last episode, they were arguing about.
I can't believe you haven't seen that.
I have been wanting to. I actually started to watch it, and I was like 4 episodes in, and then I lost my eyesight. I had my double vision, and then I couldn't watch it for 3 weeks. And then I just never got back to it. But then my wife is watching with me, because Camille Nanjiani's in it, and we've become fans, and so she wanted to watch it. So yeah, but we're halfway through, and yeah, we watched a couple episodes tonight. It's great. How about you? What's going on with you?
Not much. Last weekend I celebrated Evan's birthday. We wanted to do some mini golf, go-karts, the whole 9 yards, arcades. When was the last time you went on a really solid bumper boats? Because let me tell you, I had the time of my life. Me and Zoe went on a bumper boats. They were actually like new, so everything was functioning nice. It was just we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on some bumper boats. But yeah, we had a great weekend. We just did pretty much what he wanted and hung out and did some good stuff. Speaking of Evan, Coach Drew is back for U8 soccer. I drilled them hard this week. It was 100 degrees out. We had like a heat wave come through Rhode Island. We were out there practicing. We had our game on Saturday. Good times. I'm sure I'll have plenty of fun little
wait.
soccer stories.
Did you win?
We don't really keep score.
You skipped over it. I just noticed you skipped over it. We played on Saturday.
We wanted to do a drug test on this kid on the other team. This kid was, I'm not exaggerating, John, at least 12 times better than my best player.
Right.
But to the point where like the other coach didn't really take him off the field, and just like he didn't pass, and he was like a foot taller than everybody, and he could like shoot the ball. He was, no lie, ripping the ball off like the crossbar. No one else on the field can even lift the ball. Like he didn't. It was awkward. But besides him, I think it would have been a good game. But that he just carried their team.
Yeah, that's just not Yeah, it's not an age group where you just put the ringer out there and
No, like you gotta
got to
say,
pull them back a little.
put them on defense, pass the ball, sit them
Yeah.
down, like put them in goalie. Like they won 3-0, but it could have been a lot worse.
Wait, this is soccer, right?
Yeah.
3-0.
3-0. Well,
Yeah,
look at you.
yeah.
3-0.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I watched Ted Lasso, man.
I watched Ted Lasso. Oh, speaking of Ted Lasso, so I'm practicing Wednesday night, and the kids were doing like it was towards the end of the practice. We're doing a little scrimmage, and the ball goes out of bounds, and like, I'm trying to teach them some, fresh first week. They're getting that they don't know what they're doing yet, right? So I'm like, stop! Like I want them like to freeze to try to talk about, and they start running, and I just go, whistle. And they don't know what's going on, but I look over and there's like 4 or 5 parents on the sideline, like they got it.
They got it.
They got it.
I freaking love when Roy did that.
But John, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room because it is now September.
Well, the elephant in the room is for later, but yeah, I got what you mean.
Ooh, touche, elephants and elephants. Hockey season is upon us, as one may know. And the last time we really talked about this, last year, I was retired from officiating the sport of ice hockey. I had 17 solid years of refereeing Division I ice hockey. Great run. I've done bean pots. I've done Frozen Fours. I had a great career. And I told you I was hanging up the skates that I was done, right? And you didn't believe me. And I said, no, I'm staying to it.
Not only did I not believe you, I advocated for you to stop.
You did. So the final verdict is in. I had to make the final decision, and the decision was made. And John, I am happy or unhappy to say I am officially not retired from
hockey. My God. Oh God, no.
Listen though. Listen. Here's I had stipulations.
Wait, that was the worst way to announce that, by the way. I mean, what was that? I'm officially unhappily.
I'm not sure what I am yet.
Let's hear your reasoning here.
So I did a new boss, right? I had the same boss for 17 years. He got fired. New boss. New boss.
You said, wasn't this one like a ref that wasn't like your boss?
I've known this guy for 20 years. I've refed with him for 20 years.
Right.
So I called him and said, listen, I'm retired. I don't really know what I want to do anymore. I'm kind of want to be done. He said, well, what do you want, Drew? And I said, listen, Derek, I don't want like special treatment, right? But I know you're new and I live in like Southern Rhode Island. A lot of your guys live in Boston. If you need help at like UConn, Providence College, Holy Cross, all schools that are less than 1 hour for me with no traffic, I said, I'll work those. He's like, okay. I said, well, here's the other deal. I don't want to work Saturdays because I coach soccer and stuff. And I don't want to ref Sundays because it's football.
What a fucking prima donna you are.
I said, I'll do Fridays. And if that works for you, Derek, great. If that doesn't work for you, no hard feelings.
Right.
All right, Drew, no problem. And he gave me 5 games on Fridays at those 3 ice rinks. So, I mean, it's $350 a game, John. How do you say no?
Yeah, I mean, you probably could have done that before, maybe. I don't know. Like, just say
the last guy was kind of a douchebag, but
yeah.
I figured if worst case this guy says no, like no hard feelings, I'm retired.
Yeah, you were not going to do it anyway. I mean, like, it's not like you were really wanting to.
But if I have like a 6 p.m. game at UConn on a Friday night, I can work my normal shift at 2:30, pick up my daughter from school, drop her off at home, and then just go to UConn.
Right.
Like, it's not like, sure, it's a late night, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I'll be home by 10 o'clock. You know, it's
yeah.
It's it's a vacation for the year or something. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. As of right now, I'm back in, baby.
So if people are listening are wondering why I'm so exasperated over it, it's because you don't see the other side of this, right? Drew's like, this is great. The messages I get from Drew, and he's just like, oh my God, I left work and I went to UConn. I've been coaching all night and I didn't get to play my Switch at all. That's like, those messages are back in vogue, baby.
They'll be back in play. They're back in play. They're back.
Well, so congratulations to you for another season. What year is this, you said?
I think this will be number 18 for but I started, this will be my 24th year of refereeing. I started when I was young. I started in 1999, so this will be like my 24th season of hockey.
You were like what, 12
12,
referee?
yeah. I was
Refereeing
doing
what?
8-year-olds and 6,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, I see. All right.
When I
Not
started.
college. Not college girls
No.
hockey.
I started college when I was 20.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Alrighty, that's it. So let's today we're here with a sponsor for your bouncing bundle of joy, John. No, we're not talking about a baby. We don't want those. We're talking about your baby makers. That's right. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. But just like babies, your delicate little guys have sensitive skin and deserve products that are not only skin safe, but made with safe ingredients. That's where Manscaped Platinum Package comes in. From razors to shower care, this package goes above the gold standard for your body hair. So treat your beautiful boys to the world's finest toys at manscaped.com and use your code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off plus your free shipping.
All right. Well, let's
That's
get right into the meat. And we always start the meat off talking about our Substack. I haven't had new content lately, but I've been busy. I'll get back to it.
You've been busy.
dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com. It's got our merch. It's got our socials. It's got our videos. It's got opinion articles. It's got everything. It's a great place to go. Come check us out. Drew, we got a review contest to talk about.
We do. We do have a review contest to talk about. You know, let me use an analogy, John, right? Because what this review contest is, first off, is this is our Apple review, 5-star Apple review for our podcast. We want you to tell us how good the podcast is, right? And I'm going to give you this analogy here, right? John, if your wife said to you today or yesterday or last week, "Hey, honey, I really want to go see the Barbie movie. Will you come with me to go see the movie?" Now, deep down, you may not want to go, but you go.
I would totally want to go.
Bad example. You get my point.
All right.
Let's just say you don't want to go,
right.
But you go to the movies and you go and you support her because you know by doing that thing, there may be a prize at the end of the night. And that prize in this case would be sets, right? Now, let me analogize that to this. We are asking you as your wife to go write us a 5-star review, right?
Right.
And the prize that you may get by doing that is a $20 eShop card, potentially $35. We'll get to the details in a minute. And we're giving away 2 of them, right? So just go fucking do it. Just stop what you're doing and write the damn review. And I hate to call people's names out, but this 4-star shit's not going to fly. I want 5 stars.
We will hunt you down.
Because 4 stars is not eligible. This is a 5-star review contest only. All right, John, what are the details?
Yeah, we're going to pick 2 different winners. You're going to get a $20 eShop prize if you use the phrase Bob Barkley.
Who the fuck's that guy?
Yeah, which is Drew's version of Bob Barker. If you include the words Bob Barkley in your review and you win, we'll give you $35 instead. And if you're wondering why 35 seems odd, Nintendo has a $35 eShop card. Weird, I know. It's got Peach on it and everything. I don't know. But yeah, so you can basically up your prize by including Bob Barkley in there. $35 of eShop cash, and you could have done the review while we're sitting here talking about it.
Bitching about
do it.
I agree.
And we really want new reviews, but if you've done one in the past, you can go for it as well. Update your review. We'll see it. But if you haven't done a review before, please. Oh, it really helps us a lot. So please do it. I don't know if there's going to be sex at the end. I'm a little confused by what Drew said, but you'll get money.
You'll get money. You know, it just came to me why I said Bob Barkley last week. So I'm going to tell a quick story here. When I was younger, growing up in my mom's house, we had a neighbor. This neighbor was your typical, like, next door neighbor, old grumpy guy, right? This is like stereotyping movie stuff. The crazy old guy that lives next door, lived by himself, probably 80 years old, just oddball, hated kids, hated you in his yard, period. And his name was Bob Bottomley. and he was just a grumpy old man. And I think I kind of combined the two people here. There was this one time we had like this plastic football, went over the fence. We go around the fence trying to be sneaky to get it. He's out back. He has like an old picnic table with the ball sitting on it, and he's looking at us. And he goes, "Hey, kids, is this your football?" We're like, "Yeah, can we have it back?" And he looks at us with this smirk, and he pulls up a sledgehammer and just beats the shit out of the football right in front of us, and then throws it at us and says, "Well, go play with it now." And it was devastating. So, fuck you, Bob Bottomley. God rest his soul. He's also dead. But that's where my, I think, mix-up came from, John.
How do neighbors act like that? It's not like you're just some random person walking by.
You know?
You literally live next door. That kid is going to tell their parents. And like, I mean, I don't like having tension, right? You know, but like,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna sit there and like,
Grumpy.
you know, just
Grumpy
wait for
guy.
them to come over and say, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yep.
You know, what
If
if
the
you
ball
need
went
help
over that
from your
fence-
neighbor? What happens if
It
you
was
fall on your sidewalk and you need your neighbor's help and they'll be like, "Fuck
I'm
you."
not helping that fucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Sandlot. You know, when they like the ball's over the you leave it, it's lost.
But there
Pretty
was
much.
wasn't that James Earl Jones?
It was James Earl Jones.
I think it was, yeah. Darth Vader.
There's no monster dog though. There was just James Earl Jones
True.
was the bad
But
guy
the
in this
dog,
case.
like, I think the dog ended up being like a sweetie.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
guy.
not many people
Love
know
that
that.
one
James,
scene.
James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader.
I know. He was blind
fact.
too, right?
Yeah, I think he was.
He,
I think I remember that.
He was blind. I think it was a baseball play, do Babe Ruth, or whatever it was. Did he get hit in the head or something? He went blind.
I don't remember
watched
the
the movie in a
details on
while.
that one. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Pretty
though.
sure it was.
Yeah.
Well, sidetracked a little bit, but I feel like that was worth the storytelling there.
Thanks, Drew.
You're welcome.
All right.
That's where I'm
on
here.
August 31st, which feels like forever ago,
Yes.
we got the Super Mario Wonder Direct. This is the game that all of us are buying. Not even joking. Anybody who says they don't know if they're going to get it or not, why do you even have a Nintendo Switch? Like, this is why you have a Nintendo system for a freaking 2D Super Mario Brothers game.
This is it.
But this video, like, so to me, it's like, I was getting Mario Wonder for sure, right? We're getting that. But this was like, but how hyped am I going to be? How excited am I for this game? It's a game I'm going to play through no matter what, but like, how excited am I to play through this game? And let me tell you, I'm going to ask you next. This Direct got me excited, man. I mean, this was a fantastic Direct. This game looks crazy. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, man. Like, I don't even know why you're listening to this podcast, but you didn't see it. We all saw it. It looks like, I mean, the way I look at it is the overworld looks like Mario 3D World and a bunch of other games that we've seen in Mario before. It takes place in the Flower Kingdom, not the Mushroom Kingdom. It looks similar, but
that's cool. It's something different. Really quick, back to that overworld. Kind of interesting, right? That's kind of what they did with the Kirby, right? They kind of introduced this free roaming 3D overworld, right? Because that's what they said is
Kirby? Oh yeah,
in Kirby it was not in the last one. The what was the original? The Forgotten Land.
Yeah,
in that one they had like this open world where you can kind of just roam around. It wasn't just this linear path that you had to stay. Yes, John, they blocked the field goal and just returned.
I looked over and I was like, "What the hell just happened?"
And then they missed the extra point. But yeah, that interesting concept. I wonder if this is the new going forward, and I'll talk about it a little bit later because Moving Out 2 does this same concept, but I love this overworld, open world type concept because there's always these little hidden secrets around corners, and maybe you find something, or maybe you find a hidden level or whatever it might be, but it kind of encourages this exploration in an overworld. So I know that might seem like I way overhyped it, but I'm actually excited for this.
Yeah.
The open overworld.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I do love it. It reminds me of Cuphead. You know what I mean? Like, remember, Cuphead, right?
Another great concept.
All those little secrets in the overworld. So it's not just moving around, but there's other stuff going on up there.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes place in the Flower Kingdom. They say there's 7 areas. We'll see how many there are in the end. Every level was showing you the difficulty, and it was also showing you, and this is one of my favorite things, how many wonder seeds are there. So it's one of those games, and this is what makes me excited, is you play through the level. It's not enough to just get to the end and get the one Wonder Seed, but you want to get all the other hidden stuff, the big coins. I'm not sure if that's in here or not, that
I
sort
love
of
the
thing.
coins.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if this game will have that, but that's fine. I want to see it different. We got to change it up a little bit. It also showed the difficulty, which was interesting, because there was I think 1, 2, or 3.
Well, didn't
I
they
don't
say
remember if there's
somewhere I
more.
read or something afterwards too that they said this game is not easy?
So my
what I read?
guess is there's a difficulty, because there was those areas where you could choose which levels, and I'm assuming you had to do a couple levels or whatever to advance. But you can come back and do them all. And I bet you there is a path where you can just do 1-star levels all the way through the game if you want to, for kids.
Or they unlock a hard mode if you beat it, or something. Yeah. There has to be. I agree.
Well, there's going to be optional levels that are 3-star or more and more difficult. And we'll probably get, if you beat the game, there's extra levels like Mario World. So I love that, because your kid can play through it and feel accomplished, but then you can have that extra challenge. So that was fantastic. There's a course menu, so you don't have to run through the overworld to see all the levels. You can just bring up the course menu and see.
I like that for going back.
How many Wonder Seeds you got in each one, and then you can just click on it and you'll just instantly go, which is really nice for completionist stuff. What about the characters? What did you think? There's Mario and Luigi, Daisy and Peach, Toad and Toadette, a bunch of Yoshis, and what the hell, Nabbit.
Nabbit.
And there's a bunch of different Yoshis. All of them and Nabbit are the easy mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good selection. It's better than just the normal one. I liked how they kind of added some more female characters to it, and I also like that they said all of these playable normal characters are the same mechanics, right? I believe so. Peach
Luigi
doesn't have the
jump.
float. Luigi doesn't jump higher. I kind of like that, right? So now it's just a straight up cosmetic type thing. Or do you prefer the other way?
I prefer the other way, but I get it, because in terms of game, because they have all these mechanics in the game, we'll talk about, but the vine and all that, and testing that with all the different characters, the permutations would make it really hard to test the game. So that's why
it make much sense to use them, right? If you already had some type of buff.
I mean, you want to make double jumps so that certain areas there's no way to get to, but then you're like, oh, but you can do it with Peach, and forget it. The one thing I would have liked to see, and they did this in the last game, and I don't know why. I understand, let's make Nabbit the easy mode. Let's make Yoshi easy mode. I think any character you should just have as easy mode, because maybe I want to play as Yoshi or Nabbit as a regular character just for fun. Why can't I be Mario in easy mode? I think they're overthinking that a little bit.
That's a great solid point. And then obviously I'd be interested to see, I have to assume that we'll see a new character or an unlockable character. Maybe not. But you know what, just thinking out loud, what we need is we need a long, I know we have Waluigi and Wario, so put those to aside for a minute, but when do we see a new Mario brother, lost brother or cousin or something you know what I'm saying? Let's just bring another, Mario Luigi guy into the mix. That's a good guy.
Like Vito. We need a Vito.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the newest character in a Mario? Is it Toadette? Is that the newest? Or is it Nabbit?
There's got to be someone else. What about female-wise? Is Rosalina before
Daisy? Rosalina's Galaxy
I
2?
do love that there's all these new enemies in this game as well. I don't know if you had that listed later on.
Yeah, some of them, I don't have the names of them, but some of them were like when you jump, they jump. I swear I've seen that in a Mario game before.
The Toppies or whatever they're called. Yeah,
but not this character. And the, I mean, we can move on from the characters. Yeah, there's the guy, the copy guys that jump. I mean, there's a bunch of characters.
The guy that opens his mouth and just kind of eats you.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the animation of those characters. It really brings them to life. It's not so much. I've seen a lot of those tactics from enemies before, but man, they felt the animation that makes them so endearing. It looked fantastic. There's different powers. So the elephant mechanics are amazing. And the funny thing about the elephant is it's not just like a one-trick pony, right? You can shoot things in the air. You can collect water. There's so many things you can do as an elephant. There's also the bubble mechanics, and then there's the drill mechanics. Those were the three. What did you think of those?
Yeah, I mean, the fact I'm pumped just to water some flowers. I've never been so excited to just collect water and go water the flowers and see the little flower dance and just say thank you. Like
Right.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Bubble mechanic. At first, I was like, I don't know. This seems pretty lame. But then when I saw the clip of them shoot the bubble through the wall to the enemy, I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty cool. And it just instantly turns into like a coin or something. The drill mechanic, we've never had this before. I could have swore we had Mario with a drill, but I could be wrong.
If we haven't had Mario, we've had other games where you can kind of go into the ground.
So I think that part of the drill mechanic, I mean, breaking blocks and stuff like that are going to be fine, but the fact that now you can go underground and like through a wall essentially and pop the other side is going to make you really start thinking outside the box for some hidden items. That's going to get tricky.
That's what I was going to say. Is the drill and the bubble more so than the elephant, but they really lead you to some like really difficult platforming, or I can see there's items in areas that are hard to get.
Hmm.
And, you just figure out a way to use a bubble, a drill, or whatever, and
jump
get
on the
there.
bubbles. That's right.
Yeah. So I think that's what it'll help with. And the drill also seemed like almost like a little bit of an easy mode where you can like avoid a bunch of enemies for a few seconds, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really great to see it expanding out. The thing for me, the big winner in this game, this is where the hype comes from, the badges.
Yes.
And I don't know how easy or hard these are going to be, but being able to earn the badges, first of all, with like doing challenges, which it reminds me of, what am I thinking of? Shovel Knight Dig? Shovel Knight Dig. When you would get a power up, they put you in a level where you had to use that power up a whole bunch of times and in a bunch of different ways. And when you got to the end, you officially got that power up. And it was a great way to just tutorialize you and just real quick. And if you do those tutorials well, you don't have to do all the dialogue boxes and explain everything. It forces you to figure it out. And so, so like in order to get the vine, you have to do a level where you have to use the vine. And this is like amazing. Very Hollow Knight or Ori Will of the Wisps-esque. You get these badges, you apply it to your character, you give yourself skills. So when you play a level and your friend plays a level, you might have completely different skill sets. And that's what separates the characters.
Correct. It ties back into what we said earlier. Yep.
Yeah. And that little vine thing that you shoot and grab the wall is like so un-Mario. I love it.
So that's the part that really was like you just said, that's so un-Mario. And that perfectly said, which makes it interesting. Let me ask you this. Do you think they showed too many different badges? I feel like they just kept showing them. And if you really wanted to, you probably could have paused it and read the ones in the background. But
the whole direct gave a lot away.
And regardless, like you said, we were buying this. I think everyone was buying this game regardless. But sometimes I wonder, like, how much info do you really need?
I do wonder.
I don't know. I wonder.
No, I think we're in an era where these companies have decided, look, we know we're giving too much away and we're ruining a little bit of excitement, but it will increase our sales because the people who ruin a little bit of their excitement, they're still going to buy it. But the people that we didn't give this information to might not have bought the game. So they have to just say, hey, we got it. We're going for the sales. You're right. And you could have turned it off. I was tempted to. It's like, this is too much. I know I'm getting this, but I'm sure there's so much in this game. And
there's so much.
We saw nothing in terms of like levels. So there's always that.
True.
Everything looks great. And then the online modes, basically you don't really play directly with people online, but you can compete against their ghosts. They have this standee system, which I think I understand it, but basically you can earn standees. Let me know if I'm wrong here. You can earn the standees. You can place a standee down. And then if somebody who's playing in another game dies, they go into a bubble. But if they hit your standee, then there's a benefit to you. And so you can put these standees in dangerous places and stuff like that. I'm not totally sure, and I'm not sure I need to be, but that's what it
No, you don't
like.
have to. This is the way I interpret it. I think the standees are both an online play and offline play. On offline play, I think standees can be used in a single player game, right? Where if you're entering a tough platforming area, you say, I'm putting a standee here. It's like dropping the flag in a Mario, that mid-level flag. And if you die, you have to get your ghost to go back. So if you die like 8 screens later, you're not going to be able to fly back to your standee, right? The unlockables, I think it's just another layer of unlocking stuff is you can unlock more standees, which is just a cosmetic change. If you want your standee to look like Birdo instead of Mario, you can just change it to look like Birdo. Now, online, I think it's the same concept, except you're going to have standees probably everywhere if you're playing in that online mode, so you can always just kind of come back to it. I think this what shows us is that this game is going to be hard. If they're encouraging you to put save checkpoints in the middle of a level anywhere you want, I'm assuming there's going to be some tough platformer areas. It would be my guess. Because why else would you have that feature? They know you're going to die a lot.
Right.
So that's my take. I think similar to what you said, I think it's going to be both online and offline play.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that sounds about right. So I'm excited. I mean, I can't wait. This game actually comes out October 20th, the same day as Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation. So I've taken the day off from work. I'm going to play both at the same time. And, well, not at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to have the decks cleared. I'm going to be playing both of those games. I'm really excited. And they're both going to be excellent. But like Wonder just looks so good. And I hope it's just that sort of game where you beat it probably in, 4 or 5 days, but then you just sit around and you get all the things and all the badges and all the everything. And then you play the impossible levels. I cannot wait. It's going to be so.
So, John, I have an honest question here because I'm like, I can't tell you I now have, not that there's been a lot of Mario games lately, but my kids are obsessed. They love it. They love to watch the entire Direct with me. They're pumped. They're excited. For once in my life, I would love to just sit here and play this Mario by myself, John. But I feel like this isn't going to happen. The kids want to play it together as a family. The wife wants all four. They want to do it 4 players. So what do I do, John? Do I create my own game file and I play at night secretly? And then when I have to act surprise when shit happens, like I just don't want to play in a 4-player mode where you have to go at their pace. And I'm going to be blunt. I think that's partially why I hated Disney, Mickey's Illusion Island. Right? Because like it was a platforming game and my kids really struggled and they're like, oh, wait for me. And I would literally platform to a spot and just stand there for 15 seconds and let them try to catch up. And then, all right. And then I would, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to be an asshole about that because it's part of the fun is playing with your kids, but it's also sometimes like, I just want to play the game and not have to worry about you bubbling or you falling. And I don't know.
You're not enjoying it the way you want to enjoy it.
Yeah. So I don't know what to do. I mean, at the same time, I don't want to have to unlock shit twice. I could just play the game and then we could play the levels together, but that's not fun because you're not unlocking. I don't know. I didn't really think about this.
Here's what you do. I mean, this is easy, right? I don't know how many like save slots there are, but if you put your own save slot there, your kids are likely to see it and be curious or mess it up or whatever. Here's what you do. You make an account and it says Drew UK. And if somebody asks you what the account is, you say, oh, don't touch that one. That is my UK account. I'm doing a Nintendo Dad's review for a game in England. And no one will go in there or anything like that because they'd have to go really out of their way. So that's what you do. And then do that. And then just do your save file there and get ahead of them so that you are experiencing the game first by yourself. And that's it. There's nothing to be apologetic about. I mean, that's why you should do it. Yeah. I won't tell anybody.
All right, good. Thank you, John.
But the whole audience can blackmail you now, but
True.
Yeah, whatever. You deserve to be able to do it.
I do deserve. You're right.
All right. At the end of this, they announced that there is going to be a Mario Red OLED, or as I call it, the ORED. This is I thought this was exactly what the other, remember that other Mario Switch they put out?
Yeah, the Mario one. It was just red.
Yep, I had that.
It wasn't an OLED though.
That was my main Switch until the first OLED came out on Metroid Dread Day. But but it's a little bit different. It's got a red back, but it doesn't have a red front, which is very important for all you OCD people. It doesn't have that line between the screen and the Joy-Con. Trust me, that drove me nuts because the original one had a red border. And then if you put the Joy-Cons in, I had one Joy-Con where the bottom of it was really close to the plastic and the top was a little further away. And it drove me out of my mind. So it's all black on the inside, so you won't have to deal with that. It's great. And then, of course, it is the regular OLED model. It does not come with the game, as they usually don't. And it goes for $350. But yeah, it looks nice. And like, it's so weird. They put the things on the back of the dock. There's like the secret Mario and the secret coins. And it's like, why is that there? Put it on the front. Why is it in the back? No one, Nintendo literally thinks that people look at the back of a dock. I don't understand.
I don't care what they think. Like, oh, well, it's a good secret. It's no fucking good secret. Like, what do you mean?
It's a secret you immediately revealed in the YouTube. It's like
nobody cares.
They should have just not even announced that and let people discover it. Like, let people post all over social media and go, look, there's coins on the back. Like, why give that away? That's not a selling point. Like, it's so dumb. I think you're right. I think we need to talk about that someday. Like, teasers and pre-release trailers are just giving too much away. It's stupid. Speaking of Mario, Drew. Last week, we held a contest to see who would be our replacement Mario voice to take over for Charles Martinet. And we had a three-way. tie.
And Evan did not win.
For first place. Evan didn't make it, no. He was the sweetest Mario, for sure.
He was.
Yeah. Three-way tie between Justin, Bob Cousy, and an informant. So congratulations, you guys.
You win nothing but pride.
You win nothing but our happiness. We can't get 3 prizes. We're sorry.
We give enough shit away.
Yeah, we're broke. All right. There was also some new hardware announcements that came out. We are getting the Mario Kart Nintendo Switch. I don't even want to talk anymore about this one. That's a regular ass Switch. It comes with Mario Kart. That's fantastic. You do get Mario Kart for free in that package, but whatever. But they are releasing these Animal Crossing Switch lights. One is a coral pink with Isabelle. Right. And then there is a aqua one with Tom Nook. Now, these two are the same colors as the 2 Switch lights that exist. These are not new colors, but they have a decal on the front and they have decals on the back. And the most importantly, though they retail for $200, they actually come with Animal Crossing.
Huge.
Which is fairly cool, right? They are $200, right?
Yes, they are $199. Yep.
Okay. So you actually get Animal Crossing, which, it's a 3.5-year-old game, but I mean, that's pretty cool for Nintendo because that game still goes for $60.
This is going to sell like hotcakes. I think this is like my 9-year-old daughter, like this could be under the Christmas tree. I think this is like a perfect game or console for something like that.
And she can start her own island.
Oh my God. And that like on Black Friday, they're not going to have a deal, but that like Target always, I don't know, if you spend this much money, you get a $40 Target gift card.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to end up being able to get this for almost $150 around Christmas time once all these deals come out. This should very good chance find its way to my home.
Yep. It looks great. And yeah, like I said, when I had my Switch Lite, when I first got my Switch Lite, one of the coolest things you could do is I had my own island on there. I eventually, I think, transferred that island over to my main Switch and deleted my original island. But yeah, you can have kind of an alternate island. So kids, even if kids have played through Animal Crossing, you can have your own island and you can make your own decisions and it won't even interfere with me. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And a kid's going to be like, holy shit. It's almost like they get their first apartment or something like that.
And I'll probably go on, and I haven't loaded mine up in 3 years, and I'll just give her all my bells.
Oh man, I really do. I would start Animal Crossing again. I've actually thought about playing that DLC that they did.
Oh yeah. I remember
just to see. I never touched it.
Me either.
That would be fun. All right. Speaking of other elephants in the room, we got to talk about this. There was a rumor going around about the Switch 2. And Drew, I do not like the Switch 2 rumors. We've had them since 2017. Tired of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. But this one was interesting. I'm going to read a little bit from this article here. But this is crazy. So the rumor has been, no, not rumor, but the reports are that at PAX, but PAX was over this past weekend. Nintendo Live was going on over there at PAX West. That Nintendo was showing off the Switch 2 to development studios behind closed doors. Okay, not for public consumption, giving them an idea of, port your game and all that. My God, the poor Giants are just getting the shit kicked out of them.
Was that Barkley too?
Yeah, Yeah. Bob Barkley, poor guy. So they've been showing this behind closed doors, but here's the crazy thing. The report is that Square Enix has a port of Final Fantasy VII Remake playing on the Switch 2. This is when I was like, we have to talk about this one because that's so nuts. I to even be believed, but people are saying they're comparing it to the processing power of the Series X and PS5. I think that's bullcrap. But Final Fantasy VII is running on it, and we got to talk about this because if they put out a Nintendo Switch 2 and it is, I mean, I just want a PS4. I want a PS4 Switch. That's all I want. I don't think this thing has PS5, right? No way. And they put Final Fantasy VII Remake on this. To me, that becomes like the Skyrim. Remember when they started showing the Switch and everyone's like, that's Skyrim. And it was like, what? Skyrim on Nintendo? What? This is like, that's what that reminds me of. I have a feeling if they show the first trailer that Nintendo drops for this and they show Final Fantasy VII Remake running on it, I mean, Jesus, Doug Bowser, you freaking genius. Like, it's insanity. And he probably has nothing to do with it. But my God, that would be amazing. So what do you think of these reports?
When there's smoke, there's fire, right? I mean, I don't think it's that odd to hear, like you said, I like how you use the word reports, not rumors, right? That there's been reports of hardware being shown at these behind door events, right? I mean, it's foolish for anyone to not think that that's happening, right? Yeah, I do agree with you. I think anything PS4 at this point, it sounds more realistic just because of the history that we've seen with Nintendo is typically one console behind, right?
Yep.
And that would make perfect sense.
Sometimes two.
Sometimes two, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would mean. To me, I've said it a million times. Sure, these amazing graphics would be awesome to have, but I get more bent out of shape or butt hurt when I don't get to play some of these other games, right? That's what bothers me. Like, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy really, but give me Final Fantasy VII on the Switch, but maybe the graphics aren't up to par. Like, okay, at least I still have the same game, right? And I get it's not an easy conversion like that, but that's my biggest problem is I don't get to play some of these big games and that people are talking about, right? I mean, Tears of the Kingdom was the first one. I was like, yes, I'm involved with what everybody is talking about on the internet. Right. I've seen these Starfield videos, and I'm not even sure I would be playing Starfield, but I now have those taken over my social media pages and all these other things that they're finding and exploring. Like, I would love to be part of some of these gaming things, but if this is really what people are saying, I mean, shit, John, we got a doozy on our hand. Yeah.
The other thing that they were talking about is that there is that it has a new cartridge slot, and I don't quite know if that means that there's two, like the way some of the DS Lites had it. And a new camera feature, which is really weird because I see no reason to put a camera on a Switch 2. Just
adds so much more money.
There's security, and it just adds the cost. Nobody wants it, but that could hint as to its new gimmick, right? Like it could take a picture of you and do AR like the
AR
3DS
of some
did.
Sort. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll reserve.
Let's be
my
honest.
judgment.
You know, the Switch 2 is not just going to be this updated version of Switch with amazing graphics.
Right.
That's not what Nintendo's pushing for. It's going to be some third option gimmick.
Yeah.
That will be fun for a little bit, and then it will be annoying for a little bit, and then they'll come out with one to everybody's Switch, and we'll like it again for 30 minutes, and then we'll hate it again. It's that's what Nintendo does, right? It's that reoccurring cycle. And then
I want that, even when they fail.
That's fine.
I want that. Yeah. No, I absolutely.
And it'll be a game by game specific. I mean, when the original WarioWare came out with the Switch and we were playing, when Super Mario Party came out and we were using the Joy-Cons, it was fun. I mean, sometimes I just want to sit there and play Mario Party, but it was fun when it was there, right? So it's up and down roller coaster. And I think that's the expectation as a Nintendo.
If anything, I feel like the Switch has had a little bit less whimsy because the 3DS had so much whimsy.
Agreed. I mean, at the beginning, there was a lot of Joy-Con games, I would say. I think we kind of get away from the Joy-Con specific games quite a bit.
Especially the HD Rumble. I mean, like that just died. I mean,
Yeah,
we
that
have
did die.
Rumble, but like I don't know, like a lot of the earlier games had way better Rumble facility. I'm kind of the opposite of you, although I don't like I'm not going to yuck on your yum. I just like from my point of view, and I think it's because I do have the other consoles. I don't like when they port a game and it just the port is terrible on the Switch. So like Immortals Phoenix Rising and whatever, I'd rather not see it.
I was okay with that.
I'd rather like if the port isn't going to be good, I don't want to see it at all because I feel like it just puts the Switch in a bad light. And we've seen some really bad ports, but I totally understand from your point of view. You know, you don't mind that graphical stuff and, you know, give it to me. So I totally get that. But I'm definitely like I'm really excited if I'm just dreaming of a launch day where Switch 2 has Final Fantasy VII Remake on launch day. Absolutely fantastic game. I would totally advocate for you to play. And then what they talked about also in these rumors is they're showing like upgraded versions of Breath of the Wild. I mean, God, I would totally play that game again if there was an upgraded version of it. And then like if they announced, you know, free upgrades to their games, because a lot of these games lock the frame rate, you know, to 30.
Yeah.
And like just because you get new hardware, it doesn't mean it's going to speed up. Like some games will, but if they've locked the frame rate. So I want to see games get updated, like Link's Awakening and all that, so that they can take advantage of the Switch too. I'd love to see them do that with a lot of their games. It would be fantastic. I can't wait. Oh God, I would play Final Fantasy VII Remake again so quickly. It's so good. But cool. That was awesome. All right. So that's our meat. Time to talk what we've been playing. And Drew, we have a couple games, sort of,
have some
that we have played. It's very rare when you and I play the same game, but two games? Why don't you kick us off with whatever you want?
We'll start with the both. Let's start off with Red Dead Redemption. We both played this at launch day, just about, right? This was a couple 3-4 weeks ago.
Right before our marathon.
Yep, and I gave it a good run, and I played it for about I'll be blunt, maybe about a week or so, week and a half, maybe 5 to 8 hours. I probably played.
I don't feel like you played it for a week and a half.
Well, 5 or 8 hours in a week and a half. I don't know. I think I've expressed my concerns with this. The game was fine. It felt a little bit older, but not. It didn't cause me not to want to play because of that. I think it was a great little port. It was a fun game. At the end of the day, the problem was I stopped playing it for really a couple of small reasons. But one, I think the whole Wild Wild West theme was just not for me. Never been a big Western type fan of any genre of shows, movies, whatever. I thought maybe I could just play through that and I wouldn't mind it, but I think that did hinder me a little bit. I think I mentioned also was I feel like since this was an older, big open world game, I feel like they made it this open world game because they thought they had to or they just wanted to. But there's so much empty space, right? And there's so much go fight these bandits in the middle of nowhere and spend 3 to 5 minutes riding your horse there. When you get there, it's just this empty, like, quarry, and it's like kill the guys and then just get back on your horse and ride 5 minutes back to town. And it just felt like, what am I doing here? The story and some of the side quests were intriguing, but I felt like the main story was kind of very washed out and kind of non-existent, to be honest. And that you really were just playing it for these types of side quests. And I think the big difference between something like that and The Witcher was, I think the side quest and the world of The Witcher was much more intriguing to me than something like Red Dead was. And for that, I lost that motivation. So that's just my thoughts on it. I thought the gameplay was solid. There were some really cool mechanics while, shooting while on the horse, and even some gun mechanics and like the dueling mechanics. So that stuff, I thought they did a really good job at making the combat fun. But I think all that other stuff between there just dragged out for me, and it didn't grab me like I was hoping it did. So
yeah, that's fair.
I don't think it was a bad game. I want to be clear. It just wasn't a game for me, for my own reasons. I can tell the difference between the two, and that just was not a game for me.
I I can't remember when I played it for the first time, but I played it on my PS3, and I think it might have been. It feels recent, but I think it might have been right before the Switch was released. I can't
Oh
remember, but
wow.
it was many years ago. And I hadn't played many open world games, and I played Red Dead, and I liked it. And the more time has gone by, and I think about it, I actually like it more and more. It has a really good story that keeps you in. It's a Western, so it doesn't get all weird, like we'll talk about in Sea of Stars. I like the ending of it and whatever. And I was really excited because I had never played Undead Nightmare. But I will admit that it's a great port and it was fun to play. I played, I think, like 35, 40 hours. I think just with the advent of other open world games that I've played since then, Tears of the Kingdom, Elden Ring, a whole bunch of them, right? That it felt a little older, and I had some of the same issues that you did, which is the fast travel in this game fucking sucks. And it's weird because Red Dead 2's fast travel is also a big complaint. That game came out recently. So I don't know why Rockstar can't figure out fast travel. But the fast travel in the game stinks. You have to, if you're in town, you can fast travel to a place that you've been. That's fine. By taking a stagecoach, which you have to pay for,
Oh,
which is weird. But if you leave the town and find an empty area and not near a road and not near the water, and like it's so hard to figure out where a spot like that exists, you can make a camp and then you can fast travel for free. It's just so obnoxious. And so a lot of times I'd go somewhere and then I'd do something and then I'd have to run out of the town and go find a spot. And then I'd try to like do the campfire and it would say, nope, you can't do that here. Nope, you can't do that here. It's just like, oh my God. Why do I have to make a campfire to fast travel? It makes no sense.
Just push pause, click the town, and say travel here.
Yeah,
That's it.
like it's so annoying.
The loading screen can just be you like running on a horse until it loads and then you're there.
Right. So I did every side quest that I could find. I did a lot more in this game. I got to see more characters and more stories, and I really enjoyed that. And I did a lot better this time. But there was a lot more. I unlocked more costumes because you have to do all these little challenges to get them. I unlocked more costume. I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. I keep sneezing. I have to go on mute. And the problem was, my map is empty. There's no quests. There's some things I have to do, like wanted posters, and I can't find any. And it's like, all I want to do is do these other things, but where are they? And it was kind of driving me nuts. And so I did finish it, and I actually played it after. But yeah, I might jump back into it, but I think I'm probably done. But here, real quick, I actually did go and jump into the Undead Nightmare DLC.
Ooh.
And so Undead Nightmare, it takes place during the events of the first game, but it's an alternate timeline. I always wondered where this took place.
Okay.
I didn't know much about it. But John Marston's, his wife and his kid turn into zombies one day. And but it's an alternate timeline from the story, but it starts after he returns home in the game. And then you go around and you have to like go to graveyards and kill all the zombies and then go to towns and free them from the zombies. It gets kind of repetitive. There's only like 3 different kinds of zombies. And then the story quests there's much less. The game is like maybe 7-8 hours. You kind of have the same people that you did story quests with are in this game, like the professor and maybe some of these people you haven't seen, but Bonnie and all that. They're in the game, but you do like one quest and it's kind of done. So it's kind of nice. It's the same voice actors and whatever like that. But yeah, it wasn't as deep. And right towards the end of the game, I didn't realize I was so close to the end. I couldn't make progress because I had to hog tie a particular kind of explosive zombie. But the thing would not spawn. I couldn't find it. It was driving me crazy. And then I'd find one and I'd tie it and I'd go to hog tie it and it would explode because you have to hog tie it very quickly. And it drove me crazy and I was going to quit. And then finally I was able to do it. And then I finished it off. I did not enjoy Undead Nightmare all that much. I didn't. The story was stupid. Nothing made sense. Whatever. But the game was a lot better. But yeah, it does have its age or whatever. It does make me want to play Red Dead 2 again.
Oh gosh.
But I just can't possess I'd have to buy it. I don't know if I ever will. But if it comes on PS Plus one day, maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll be like, let's do this again. But yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Let's talk about Sea of Stars, John.
Do it.
So you're probably a lot further than I am, so I'm just going to say where I am without spoiling anything. So it is a newer game. I'm about 10 to 12 hours in. I just made it through. I want to say it's like the second major area of. I just killed the Necromancer.
Okay.
So that whole town / area of the map, I really enjoyed. A lot of fun. So this game is solid. This is kind of, I think, my first, what do they call them? 2D HD, which I don't really understand.
No, it's not 2D.
I was going to say,
not a 2D HD.
it's not one of those. Okay, good. Because I was going to
It's
say.
a junior RPG.
Yes, stands for junior. So I'm really, really enjoying this game. I think it's a lot of fun. I always liked a good turn-based game every once in a while. I couldn't play like turn-based after turn-based after turn-based game, but mixing them up every once in a while, it definitely has. The only thing I can compare it to is like that Paper Mario-ish type kind of feel with the battle system and upgrading, which I really enjoy. There's a lot of options, but they don't overkill, right? I think the battle mechanics are very clever. I like how they're interactive. I like how they have, what do they call them, relics that you can really turn on to pretty much easy mode.
Have you used
tried
those?
not to. No, I think I have one of them on, and it's not really one that really helps you that much. But no, I don't. Do you using them?
I'm not using them, but I spent a good day trying to like figure out in my brain if I should because it's in the game or like
Hey, I don't
no,
think
I
it's
want to.
cheating.
It
But
feels
so,
like
for
I'm
example, for
yeah.
people that aren't playing, right? If everyone that's played a Paper Mario game or type of turn-based that has interaction in it, there's a simple mechanic that if you time A correctly, you can do like an extra hit or you can block it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a relic that you can find that you turn on that automatically guarantees you it does the double hit and it can block it. So in a way, it takes away the mechanic of the entire combat mechanic, to be honest. So like that's what we're talking about. Like there's a lot of things like that. There's one that is automatically reduces all the enemies you fight's health.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an easy mode, I guess you could say, if you want to just play the game to enjoy it and not die. I mean, I struggle. I have to go back to camp sometimes and heals, and I have to constantly be cooking to heal myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of an RPG, though, or a JRPG.
I mean,
right?
that's my favorite thing to do in RPG. You get near a fire and then you kill some enemies and just keep coming back over and over again.
That's part of it,
yeah,
right? So if you
yeah.
just constantly are killing guys in a couple hits, there's no really strategy to the battle. Like there's nothing better when you see a guy's health with like 22 health, and you're like, the only way I'm going to kill this guy is if I land the A button and time it right.
Yeah.
So it's like more pressure on you, right? And then you're like, oh man, I didn't do it. Now he's going to attack me. Or
Right.
you did it and you killed him. And you're like, yes, now he can't attack me. So I don't know. Like you said, they're there. It's not like it's cheating. I just think you got to do it the way you want to do. I
like
have
it.
one on.
I like it because if you put a game on easy mode, it's just easy mode. This lets you decide which easy mode you want. Yeah, because it's a lot of that pressing the button to time your attack. That's like an accessibility feature. Some people just can't do that. So that really helps there. And then there's modes where you take way less health and whatever, but you can decide where you need a little bit of help. And I like that. That's a new style that we see in games. And they do a really good job with that.
It's interesting too, to get these relics, you have to buy them in shops.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're spending your gold or your money that you earn or find on them. It's not like they're just finding them off the beaten path.
Right,
I don't think. I think they're all from shops,
I think you might get a couple early on.
Me too.
The important ones early on. But yeah, and you get them. I think you buy them all pretty early, like late in game. I haven't seen any.
Okay.
In a long time.
I mean, I buy them because I'm just like you. You like to collect them all. You want to have them, and you want to see what they say, and just have it. But yeah, most of them. I think I have one on. I forget what it is. It might be something stupid, like it shows the enemy's health or something. I don't remember.
Oh, that would be amazing. I wouldn't even say that's an easy mode. I hate that I can't see the health.
I have one of them, but I think it doesn't show bosses. It only shows like certain ones. I don't know. I feel like it's random.
I'm gonna look and see. I wish you could see.
Do you see the enemy's health?
I don't.
Oh, see, I think I do. I must have that
a relic. All right, I'm gonna check mine again.
But it's not bosses. It's only, I think, regular guys.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
But I do have that on.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at mine.
So overall, I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying the game. There's a few little things that are bothering me. This is nitpicking. One, when you go to the overworld map, I don't know why you have to walk so freaking slow,
I
but
know.
it's like slow-mo.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned it today in Discord was, you know what, in the middle of a battle, sometimes like you're halfway through a dungeon and you can't go back because there's no camp or anything. If
Hmm.
I level up, I should restore all of my
Yes.
health and magic points or mana points.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that's a no-brainer. That's part of the strategy of when you level up and don't like that. That's just part of the game.
Yeah,
Why
and
does it?
and you level up so infrequently in the game.
It's
Just do
yes,
it.
it's
Just
not
let people
often.
do it. Um, the thing that's interesting about the encounters in this game is they're all overworld and you can see them, so you don't have surprise encounters. Although if you're walking at a reasonable speed, you might stumble into it.
Hmm.
But like you can't like I was saying, like sometimes I like to go by where you can refill all your health, like an inn, or in this case, a fire, like a fire,
Yep.
and then like just go out, kill some enemies, come back, go out, kill some enemies, and grind that way. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
really in this game because the enemies disappear and they're gone. They don't randomly appear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you
So
kill them, they're gone.
they're gone. So like I have killed every enemy except for one that I've encountered in the game.
Hmm.
And so my level where I am right now is basically probably the max level you can be unless you did more other stuff. But I
That's
certainly
fair.
haven't like avoided encounters or anything like
Yeah,
that.
and you said like you don't level up that much. I feel
You
like
don't level up too much. I
no.
do like the leveling up. I like that it's one of those where they give you some upgrades and then you can
Yeah.
pick one more significant upgrade and you can like kind of tweak your game.
Yeah.
I am late in the game, so I'm not going to talk much about story or whatever, but I have been just upgrading defense, 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 defense.
Okay.
Because I find that in battle, for the most part, I've gotten into this cadence of attack, 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 and then use a special attack with the live mana. Attack, 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 live mana. You know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And
other combos you have.
I'm just blowing through enemies right now. But I will say about this game, it does everything perfectly. All the little new battle mechanics in there, the Mario RPG
Mario and
type
Luigi ones.
things,
Yep.
love them. I love that you can choose every round. You can use any of your characters, so you don't have to like. If it highlights one of your characters, you don't have to attack with them. You can actually change it and say, "No, I want to attack with this guy, so I can finish with this guy."
Hmm.
The attacks don't synergize. It's not like one can set somebody on fire and then somebody uses a weapon that takes advantage of fire. There's no synergy going on,
It's
but it's
simple. It's a simple
simple.
mechanic.
And yeah, it's simple and I enjoy it. And the one thing I really love in RPGs, and it's one of my biggest gripes in Diablo, is you find a new weapon and you look and the stats are higher and you go, I have a better weapon. And then you equip it and then you just sell your old one. There's none of
Yes.
this, like I have 8 weapons and this one's a fire weapon and this is an
Nope.
ice weapon and this one is stronger when I'm weak. And like, I hate that. Just, it's
It's just simple.
stronger. I got a better one. Let's go.
You're right. This game does a fantastic job at making it not too in depth, but a lot of options, but not over complicated. You can
Right.
play this game. I'm sure my characters are playing this differently than your characters,
Right.
but it's not a complicated way. And that's what I love about JRPGs. And that's where JRPGs can also get very confusing and go down the wrong road in my eyes, right?
Yep.
It's a simple version of it, and that's what makes it fun for me. I love the world. I love the different designs of the level or overworlds and stuff like that so far. And I've only seen, like I said, probably less than half of it or maybe half of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got
But
a ways to go.
the world I'm in now is this undead / necromancer world, and it's just fun to see and explore. So
Zombies. Yeah, it does everything perfectly. My 2 gripes about it were that a lot of the game is very linear in the beginning.
yes,
Until you get to like one part of the game where you actually have some choice. Although you probably won't go exploring all too much. I didn't anyway. The other thing is the story is a little weak. It started off really interesting, and I love the way they immediately do the flashback and all that.
Mhm.
But then, like, I feel like there's just not a story beat for like a dozen hours. And it's like,
yeah,
man, like this game had the potential to have a really good story to it. And then now you're starting to get a lot of story beats towards the end, but they're all just like, I swear to God, I'm dealing with characters and fighting characters that I don't even know who they are.
I kind of
And
feel that way. Like I'm just out here killing the dweller or whatever. That's my mission. But like, why am I here? Why am I
yeah,
there? Like, it's just like, how do I get to that end person? It's like
you've
you
got
just
to
do.
go here and get the sword of valiance, and you have to go here. And it's like, what is going on?
Sword of a thousand
And
truths.
it is definitely one of those games. One of my big gripes. It's about 5 hours too long. It's like
Really? Yeah.
where I am in the game. I'm like, this game should have ended 5 hours ago, because what's happening is I'm so locked into how I fight. I have a strategy. I use it against everybody, and it's like I'm just wiping enemies off the floor. Where I used to have more trouble, I'm in the late game and I'm just like destroying enemies.
Hmm.
And it's just like I said, attack, 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 live mana attack, 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 live mana attack, group
What do you
heal.
mean by live mana? Like just the
Uh,
regular skills?
when you attack an enemy, little balls come out of them,
Yes.
and then you use those balls to enhance your attack
Yeah,
or
it adds like
enhance your
magic
magic.
damage to it or
And
whatever.
so the
Yeah.
most balls you can get are 3 sets of balls.
Correct. Correct.
So once I get 3, then I use my magic attack. So I don't use my magic attacks until I have a 3-ball attack.
I know what you're saying. And then you
but it
do the
just-
skills that kill every enemy with your 3-ball magic attack.
Right,
It just
exactly.
dominates.
So I'm just
Gotcha.
sort of like I'm just crushing the peon enemies. And then the bosses I get a little stressed out, but I'm mostly fine. It's just this game should have ended 5 hours ago. It's run long. I don't know why. And honestly, I had this problem with the Messenger. The Messenger also ran way too long, and it just overthought itself in that second half. And I feel like, God, is this team doing it again? They're just overthinking it again. I hope not. But I've enjoyed it. It's a perfect JRPG. And a lot of people, I think, will love the story. I'm not into this whole high fantasy stuff. But it's just fantastically made. It looks beautiful. The battling is fun and all that. It's a great game. It's going to be one of the best games of the year. I'm sure it's going to get nominated for GOTY. They was like an indie darling.
The Messenger's on sale for $4.99. Is that a game I would like?
Can't recommend it. I will say the first half of the game is incredibly fun, funny dialogue, lots of references.
Platformer, or is this the one that they changed their mid-game or something?
It's a not a Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden type platformer. It's so good. It looks beautiful. I love it. And then the second half of the game gets so freaking weird, and I constantly get lost, and I don't even know what I'm doing. And I actually played it through once. I rolled credits, and then I played it again for Sea of Stars. I got to the second half of the game, and the same thing happened. I was like, where do I go? And what is this? And then I think I didn't finish it, but then I went and played the DLC, the Picnic Panic, and I had more fun with that. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they just overthink it. But no, but Sea of Stars, it's just both games are well crafted, well made, just maybe over designed a little bit.
Okay, good.
But yeah, no, but I definitely recommend it. Let me just go through my games because we went through a lot, and that's the core of what I play. I just want to give updates on some stuff. Diablo 4, I haven't played it that much since I started Sea of Stars. I think I'm retiring from Diablo after 4.
You had a good run.
I'll give season 2 a go, but I just feel like I spend half my time going through inventory and pulling things off weapons, and that just I don't find that very fun. I don't have it. I just don't find that fun anymore. I'm whatever. A lot of people say this is like a game of the year contender. I just don't see it. But maybe I'm just not into min-maxing and stats and all that stuff. I just want to play. And when I do play in Diablo, I'm just killing the same enemies over and over again. I think I'm kind of done with it, but we'll see how I feel when season 2 hits. I went back to Celeste because my son is playing Celeste, and I finally played through the Farewell DLC. I was about 25% of the way through, like after playing it for a year.
Yeah.
It was so incredibly hard, and I think I've said this before, that the Farewell DLC actually ruined Celeste just a little bit for me. It was so cripplingly hard, and I just wanted to see the story, you know? And yeah, I don't know why they made it so crushingly hard, but they did. And I never got through it, but I decided after talking with my son, I will turn on every assist mode possible. And I wasn't even playing. I was just dash, 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 done. Dash, 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 done. I just wanted to see the story. I readily admit I can't beat that on my own. No, not even close. But I wanted to see the story, and I got to see the story, and it was very sweet. And my wife was watching me as the story was ending, and like I think we both had a tear in our eye. And it's like, Celeste, you are an amazing game. Your DLC sucked balls, but the game is incredible, and I will always remember my experience with Celeste. And actually, one day I might replay the game again, but that DLC, no chance. Surprisingly enough, I played Portal. I've never played Portal before. It's a first-person game, so I've been dissuaded. Once I learned that it existed, that was already a time frame where I couldn't play first-person games. But I've always been intrigued by it because it's just so interesting looking, and the way you create a portal, and then you walk through it, and you come out of the other portal, and you have to get through these levels by doing that. And it's so funny because you can walk through one portal, and you can see your back in it because the portal's behind you. I will say, Drew, I'm kind of shocked by this, but I promised people on one of our in-between episodes that I did that I would buy the Portal and Portal 2 eShop package. And I did.
Yep.
A couple months ago. It was on sale. And I played through Portal. It's fucking amazing. I absolutely loved it. I did not like the last level 6. There's only like 17 levels or 19. I enjoyed every level amazingly. It was incredible. The last level I was really annoyed by. It's like super long. It's basically the whole story of the game. But I just did not enjoy that level. I kept getting stuck. I had to look at some guides. Yeah, but I absolutely love that game. The final boss battle was incredibly fun, and I can't wait to play Portal 2.
So let me ask some questions here. So is there like a shoot-in or how do you fight mechanic?
The only mechanic there's no fight mechanic really. The only mechanic is you have a gun, it shoots a portal, and in the beginning of the game, there's this one orange return portal, and you shoot a portal on the wall, and when you walk through it, you come out of the orange one. And it's like that for like the first 4 or 5 levels. Then you get your gun can shoot both of those. And so you use ZL to shoot the orange portal and ZR to shoot the blue portal. So you're like, okay, I'm going to shoot a portal up on that platform, and I'm going to shoot a portal here. I'm going to walk through it. I'm going to come out on that platform.
Yep.
It is such a simple concept, and it's just incredible. And when you figure out each of these levels, and they're not like incredibly difficult, you just feel so satisfied. And then there's this whole mechanic where this robot voice is talking to you and guiding you, and the voice is witty, and it's just so enjoyable. I mean, have you played it? You haven't played it. I mean, I'd absolutely recommend it.
I've known of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah. Portal 2 is regarded as one of the great games in history. I think it's basically everything that I played in Portal, but more personality. And the game looks like it's like 4 times as long. So I'm really excited to play it. But I got a little dizzy when I was playing the last level of Portal. And so I was going to go right to Portal 2, but I'm a little bit down the road. But I can't wait. Very excited for it. I had such a great time. So much fun. I wish I played it sooner. And then last update is I finally started playing Pikmin 4. Michelle she said to me, it was like asking for sex. She's like, hey, she goes, if you want Pikmin, I'm done with it. And was like, I could finally play it. So,
did she finish it?
She mostly finished it. Yeah. Okay. I think there's some stuff she didn't do, but she went well past the credits.
Yeah. You'll understand why.
Yeah. So I've been playing it. I haven't played it too much. I've mostly just play it at night. I enjoy it. I find it comfortable. I haven't gotten it hasn't gotten the grips in me. Because like a lot of the first 2 hours of the game is very like, someone's calling me. Here's a dialogue. Here's this. Oh,
there's a lot of dialogue.
Your Ochi is growing. It's like constantly. It's like, I just want to do a day, decide what I want to do, and do it. Leave me alone.
Yeah, well.
But so far it's good. Yeah. I'll play it over the next couple of weeks, and we'll see where we go. But that's it. That's what I've been playing.
I've been playing 2 games. I've been playing more than I thought I would be for Shredder's Revenge, Dimension Shell Shock. I remember last time we talked, I was bitter because I found out, I think live on one of the episodes, that there was no new levels.
Yes, right.
And there was just characters and also character skins, which were different colors and stuff like that. So I was a little bummed out, but I heard then that there was this survival mode, and I was like, well, shit, survival mode sounds fun. Let's give it a go. So I asked Evan and my wife, and the 3 of us were going to play. So we sat down, we were going to play it. I tried out some of the new characters, and it kind of resets your character levels. If you remember, you could level up to level 10, and then like every level you would get extra perks. Like you could have now 2 specials, and you could have an extra 3 lives, and you were stronger or whatever. So all those kind of reset for survival mode. And this idea of this dimensions is you're traveling through each dimension um, for to collect crystals. That's the whole goal. You have to collect like 8 crystals or whatever. It's so simple, but there's just little rounds, right? And you start off with this whatever dimension you're in. You have to collect 50 shards, I think they are. And when you collect 50 shards, you advance to the next dimension. You collect that crystal, and then the next dimension is 60 shards and 70 shards, etc. The cool part is each round could be a few seconds to a few minutes, and they get progressively harder. But every time you finish a round, these 2 little portals come up, and you can choose like an item boost, extra shards. You can sometimes like pop up a picture of Shredder, and you can actually play as Shredder. You can play as Bebop. And it's just like those little concepts. And I probably played almost 10 hours of this, John, in the last week or two. And just playing with my wife and kid. And we didn't beat it. We've made it to the end a few times. Way more fun than I expected. We're having a blast with it. So it was good to revisit this game. The survival mode is actually really fun and easy to just pick up and play a few more rounds. So really enjoying Shredder's Revenge, Dimension, Shell Shock. I think it was like $7 for the DLC. I think it was worth it. If I played 10 hours, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I was kind of tempted. I don't own it. Cedric owns it.
Yep.
I do have it on PlayStation, but I don't want to buy DLC for a game I don't own.
Oh.
But it's on PS Plus. But yeah, that roguelite mode looks like it'd be interesting.
Perfect. And you don't need. I mean, it's Ninja Turtles. It's button jamming, right? So you should tell Cedric, hey, let's play, and ask Sebastian, whoever else wants to play, and say, hey, like that. Anyone want to play a little bit and see what goes from there?
Cedric, why don't you buy the DLC for your dad?
I've also been playing Moving Out 2. John, you know how much I loved this first game.
Mm-hmm.
The second game did not disappoint. My wife and I rolled credits today on this game. We powered through it. There's 266 stars you can collect. I think we beat the game at like 150 stars, which is pretty good.
That's a lot.
Tons of unlockables that we found. Typically, when you beat a level, right, there's 6 stars potential, 5 stars. If you beat the level, you get a star. There's a pro time that you need to complete it in. You get a star. And then there's 3 random objectives, which you don't really know what they are until you beat the level. You might get lucky and do one of them. Like, oh, put the flamingo in the truck. Like, you would never do that, but you might just happen to get lucky. Don't break any windows in the house. Well, I accidentally didn't break any windows, so I got the star. But some of the times it would go back, but it also tells you if there was an unlockable character or costume. And if there was that we missed, we would always go back and redo that because we wanted to collect everything. So we got, again, about 160. We had the time of our life playing this, just like the first one. They introduced a lot of cool mechanics in this one. This one, they really introduced 3 main portals. There's the straight overworld, which is a lot of houses. And then they introduced like 3 portals into this multiverse. Just, that's the hot item nowadays, or dimensions. One of them's kind of like a Harry Potter-ish type wizard theme. One of them's kind of like solar powered energy with fans and batteries and more complications. And the third one is like a candy land where there's tons of just snacks and candies and all these other sorts of things. They do introduce a lot of new mechanics, which I thought was fun to change it up. I think I mentioned last time there's a couple levels where you have to actually take furniture out of the truck and put back into the house. That was unique. There was a lot of these other cool ones now where like it was point system based, right? So for example, there's this one level with a moving basketball hoop, and you literally just grab this candy, you put them in a slingshot, and you try to shoot the candy into the basketball hoop. And that's the entire level. You have to score so many points in so much amount of time. So they try to introduce a lot of these other unique things to change it up. There's some of these that are like obstacle courses where you have to legit just get furniture and bring it through the obstacle course to the end, which I really enjoyed. There was, like I said, trying to change it all up and add some new things. But I love these games. I can't recommend this game enough. If you like these couch co-op games, you will fight with the other person. You'll yell at them. They'll yell at you. But Moving Out 2, again, one of my favorite games, possibly top 10 of the year.
Wow.
Yep. So
I enjoy Moving Out a little bit, but like my family wouldn't get into it. Yeah, and I've seen like a lot of improvements that they made over the first one. I love the fact that I heard that any of the characters can be in wheelchairs, which I love that.
yeah,
kind
I
of
think that
stuff.
was in the first one as well, but that is true. Right? So there's every character you unlock has 3 versions of it, right?
Mhm.
So for example, like there's this cloud head, and then there's a cloud head with a rainbow, and there's like a cloud that has like a moon on it, right? But yes, all of those versions you can just push like Y or something, and it puts them in a wheelchair, and it plays the same way. So super unique. But you'd like it just for the collectibles part. There is a lot of all the stars and all the outfits and all the characters to get. So a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Moving Out 2 was fantastic time. Big hit.
Moving Out. Sweet. Awesome. All right. Well, let's move on to what do you think? And we've got some things to say. There's a lot of rage here, so we got this will be fun. I love this stuff. And the first is a question I have for you, Drew.
Yes.
But why is DLC so fucking absurd now? And here's my point. You know, we have had DLC came out years and years ago, and it was kind of before it was on my radar, and people complained about it. But like DLC is something I kind of look forward to. I like games that have free DLC. I love going back to a game that I maybe plunked $20 on, and now you're giving me a free update. And I can I can go back into the game and enjoy it more and maybe motivate me to do something else. I like getting free DLC because I don't have to buy another game. And paid DLC is like, okay, cool, fine, whatever, depends. But it just seems like in the last few years, this whole concept of the deluxe edition of everything is coming about. And I remember it with Starlink. Remember there was like, you can pay $60 for the game, or you can pay $80, or you can pay $100. And it seems like more and more those big higher tiers just give you shit. They're like, here, a couple new uniforms and a color palette swap and stuff like that. And it really is addressed to try to get the people, the collectors who just need to have everything. But what annoys me about it is that it leaves you with, I am buying your game for full price. Maybe I paid 60 or $70. And I feel like I don't have everything. I feel like it wasn't enough for you. And this really has reared its head in the last few months because there's at least 3 games that have done this early access DLC bullshit. The 3 games I have are Starfield, Diablo 4, and Baldur's Gate 3. And so like here, and I think it's like the weirdest with Starfield. Starfield was a game that they advertised as, and it's available day one on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can play it for free. Like, how cool is that? That's awesome, right? That is awesome. Except they were like, hey, do you want to buy it? Do you want to play it 5 days early? And that 5 days early is right before Labor Day weekend. If you pay us $30, you can upgrade. You can upgrade your $70 game for $100, and you can play 5 days for free. But if you're going to play it on Game Pass, you can still pay us $30, and you won't own the game, but you can play it 5 days free. And it's like, what the fuck? So if you bought the game for $70, you get to watch $70. You get to watch as your friends start the game 5 days early, get way ahead of you in progression. And from what I've heard, they could literally beat the game before you even get it. Start getting their ships built and all that stuff. And then you'll start seeing spoilers on the internet and TikToks and this and that. And that is what I saw for 5 days. All the reviews, the footage, everything all came out. And by the time the game came out on September 6th, I was like, they were like, oh, Starfield comes out today. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, what? I have watched so many YouTube videos of it because it's a game I can't play because it's first person, but I'm fascinated by. That shit sucks. Baldur's Gate 3 did the exact same thing. And then Diablo did that before a holiday weekend. I forget what it was. But they offered the early access thing. And you know how it is with games like Diablo. Oh, I got to get my character going. I'm going to get them up to level 70. That is just shit. But like, it especially bugged me because you're talking about a game that was being for free on Game Pass, and now it's like they really kind of shook you down for $30. That's nuts to me. Street Fighter 6 has a $30 DLC that adds 4 characters to the game. 3 of those characters were in previous Street Fighters. Only one of them is new. But if you pay $50 for the deluxe DLC, you get those characters and 2 additional stages. It's like, what the hell? The game was $60.
Here's the problem, John. But people are fucking doing it. So they're gonna keep. This is gonna keep happening, right? You know, I was just looking at another one. Mortal Kombat 1 did this, right? So Mortal Kombat's $70 game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
$110 is their, what do they call it? Premium edition. $110. Again, September 14th. I don't know when it actually comes out. So you get early access. I don't know how many days that is. Probably a week, right? Early access to DLC characters, 6 new playable characters, blah, 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 and 1,250 dragon crystals. I'm assuming they have in-game currency.
That's the other shit, the currency that you can use to buy meaningless shit that already exists. It's like,
but listen to this. That's not it, John. There's a Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition, spells with a K, for $250, John.
And what do you get?
You get early access, the DLC characters, a sculpture, a steel case.
Okay, a physical thing is at least of value.
But for the price of a console?
I mean, I think that's like for people who are huge fans.
Listen, exclusive limited edition in-game color variant for Liu Kang. Whoever. So this is one of those things that when you play online and you get the silver version of this character, people go, "Oh man, that guy paid the $250," right? Like that's the shit that people love.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
it is the new biggest scam in the world because you were talking about this on a previous episode. Sometimes you like to be there on that day one hype, and you can enjoy a game with everybody else. And this is basically saying, "Oh, did you really want to enjoy the game for everybody else? You have to give us another $30 to do that."
What's your honest take on this, Art, in general? And what's their philosophy? Like, what if they just said for a Switch game, $60? What if they said, "Hey, for $65, you get it a week early"? Would you pay it?
I would not pay it. I got to draw a line. They would never do it for $5.
I agree.
$5 is certainly tempting. It's like you wouldn't even notice it. And if it was like Tears of the Kingdom 3, or something like that, I might not be able to resist. But if it was $20, no fucking way. I hate it. I think it is. I think it's an outright theft.
But it's gotta be straight up. It's you're getting more money. You're advertising your game now with the people that are willing to pay. Those big people that are willing to pay are the ones that are making content for social media. They're putting out videos. They're putting out reviews. So when you get the official release, now it's like, look at all this media. We're already trending online for our release day. It's kind of a really smart marketing plan. I hate to admit it, but it is.
I don't think it has anything to do with marketing. I think it is. They just know
it's both.
These kinds of games are the games that players will sit down on their computer and play for 24 hours and level up their characters and get far in. And they know if they give you that 5 days, you're going to race ahead. But
let's reverse it for a second, just like we're going to talk a little later, maybe about demos. But could it also hurt you? Because what if that 3 or 5 days come out with like, this game's not quite ready yet? I'd wait another couple months for an update. Now we have words coming on the street before the actual game release, which could be bad, right?
See, the thing that I don't see it that way. I don't see it as this is early access. It's not. The game Starfield was released September 1st, and if you didn't pay them $100, they just penalized you by making you wait 5 days. It's nothing early. It's the game is available. Hold on, you didn't pay for the VIP tickets. Like, it's not like it's early, whatever. These people all bought in, and that's it. It's just a fucking shakedown. It really makes me mad. I think it is crunching people to like give up even more money. Games just went to $70. This is pushing gaming to $100 now for big AAA titles. and it's ridiculous. It's so, and especially for a game you say you're giving away on Game Pass on day one, but you're gonna want to pay half the price of the game to play it 5 days early. I mean, my God.
It's
And they'll throw in a couple of skins for you. Thanks. That we took like 4 hours to make.
I hear you.
I hate it. I think it's getting out of control, and I don't think we're not there yet. I think it's going to get worse. I think you're going to see more and more games do this. And I think the games that go to services like Game Pass and PS Plus, you're going to see that more too. That early access, hey, you can have it. I think it's going to be more of a Game Pass problem because they're the day one AAA people. PS Plus doesn't do that. But you're going to see more of that on these streaming services in general, where you'll get it's day one, but early access will cost you a lot. I hate it. It's a disgusting trend. I think the industry should be freaking ashamed of itself. It's gross. And they made a lot on it. They did. It doesn't mean it's cool to me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right. What do we got? What else?
Let's talk a little bit about our game review scores broken, John. I know this was grinding your gears early in the week.
I was hoping you'd pick something a little less rage-inducing.
No, let's keep the rage flowing.
Keep it going. Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this back when Elden Ring came out. The thing I noticed about Elden Ring, and this is probably something that had been occurring, but it was just so noticeable with Elden Ring because it was getting like near perfect scores, was that the people that were reviewing Elden Ring were the people who love From Software games and love the really difficult From Software games. And this is like the game that they were really wanting to play. And when you have those people reviewing the game, you get review scores that reflect what a small group of gamers, a growing group, but still a small group of gamers love. And so it doesn't, like when they did the reviews of the game and it was getting like 10 out of 10 and whatever. And then when I played the game, it was like, it's so ridiculously hard. And some of these bosses are so ridiculously overpowered. And there's a lot of other issues with leveling in that game. There's no way you can call this a 10 out of 10. I mean, it was so cripplingly hard. We had to use a cheat, not a cheat, but like an exploitation in the game to level up really quickly. Because of bad enemy AI, you can kill a very high level enemy because he was stupid. And that's not the mark of the game. If I played the game again, I would exploit that thing again if it's still there, because that's not how you should play a game.
Yep.
And so we are seeing it with other games. We saw it with, Starfield. We're getting like Bethesda players reviewing Starfield. You get games like Baldur's Gate 3, where you get people who are really into the minutia of CRPGs and that sort of thing reviewing the game. And I think that's fine, because I think somebody who should, a person who plays shooters should review shooter games and all that. But then the companies also send you a jacket, and they also send you a $200 deluxe edition bundle. And I saw a review the other day. Somebody was reviewing, it was Starfield. And they were like, first of all, we want to thank Bethesda for sending us a code. And it's like, okay, that's a very common, that instantly is going to make a review a little bit biased.
Of course.
And then the guy launched into, like, I swear to God, like a PR readout of the game, and this and that. It read like the Starfield Direct. And it was clearly text that they gave him to say, here, read this in your review. We're giving you the game, and now we're going to give you parameters for your review.
Yeah,
and they gave him B-roll and stuff. And I know that stuff happens a lot of places. I've seen it. We've seen it firsthand. And it's like, this is just wrong. Siskel and Ebert used to go see a movie and then give an honest opinion about it. But we're like giving tchotchkes and swag and everything. And which low-level YouTuber who got a code for a game 2 weeks in advance is going to give a shitty review for a game? You're just not.
No,
I don't know how any human being that would, right?
Maybe you, John. 30-second reviews, 90-second reviews.
What if you got a review code for the new Avatar game 2 weeks in advance? You got an Avatar mask, you got an Avatar jacket and a t-shirt, and you didn't like the game. You're going to give it a 4 out of 10? No, you're not. You're not. You're not going below an 8.
I don't know. What's the stage of the mages?
not going below an 8. You're just not.
I don't know if that. I mean, I think that's hard to say for me. I don't have time. I don't have I don't have dedication to go do a full on review, right? But
no, but if you did, you're going to be. I would be bought off. I'm admitting right now. I would.
if that's the
There's no way.
if that's the, I don't want to say career, right? But if that's the aspiration is to get more reviews, then of course you're not. That's just it's silly, right?
Right.
It's silly that you're not going to do that. I agree. It's a tricky game, right? The problem with reviews that we've been saying forever is it's so opinionated, right? It's just
You've got to
what that person. There's so much behind it, right? There's the portion that you just said they're trying to keep their customers happy. Let's call it. But there's also the opinionated. What you also point was is like, are they a first-person shooter style game? Are they a hack and slash style player? Are they an open world style player? Like, what is their go-to? What do they like to do? And that's gonna, of course, just boost that score up or not, right?
Yeah.
I think there's very few review people that can look at a game and say, well, there's trying to. I'm honest. I told you I played Red Redemption and I thought it was a decent game. I really did, but it was not for me.
Mhm.
Right? I think I think it's hard for people to admit that, because when it's not for you, it's easy to pick out the flaws. And when it's a game that you like, Ages of Mages, it's easy to give it a high score. It just is.
But you should, if you liked it, you should give it a high score.
But
I mean, that's exactly what I want, right?
But can you enjoy? So let me ask you this question: can you enjoy a game and realize it's not good?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
But but can everybody identify that? When's the last game you played that you enjoyed, but you know deep down it's not a good game?
I mean, it put me on the spot, but I know what happens where you say, yeah, this game is not like a 10 out of 10, not a 9 out of 10 or whatever. Like Diablo 4. I had some fun with it, but I don't really like it. It doesn't. Sometimes when you don't like a game, you might say, I'm going to put it down. But sometimes you say, yeah, this game is not really good, but it's still playable. And maybe I'm playing it because I bought it for $60, or maybe I'm playing it because I am extracting some fun out of it, but it's also not what I really wanted it to be. Bayonetta 3 was a game where I could see all the flaws and all the things I didn't like about it, but there were things that I did like about it, and I wanted to play through it anyway. So, it happens all the time. And that's why you have to read reviews.
True.
Because like I said before, you wouldn't want me to review a first person shooter, because a person who's played a lot of first person shooters can use other games as context to tell you why this one is better.
How many people do you think look at Metacritic scores and say, that game got a 6, I'm probably not going to buy it? Do you think a lot of people say that?
All the time. Depends on the game.
I hope that's not the truth, right? I hope they do more research if they have enough time to look at the score. But
if I'm on the fence about a game, if I'm like, sometimes I'll say I might play that game. I'll just see what the reviews are, and if they're bad, I'll go, okay, no, I'm not going to try it. But then there's games like Super Mario Wonder. I mean, they could score to 1, and I'll be like, nah. If it gets it's not going to get a 1, but it's like a game I really want to play. Oh, it got a 7, right? That won't stop me. I'll be like, I don't know why you gave it a 7 or whatever. I'm going to play it. And I think I might see the critiques and whatever, but I think you do need to read the reviews, but it's becoming a little bit dangerous today when you see a game like Elden Ring get like 9.6 Metacritic average or whatever. And it's like, there are so many flaws in that game, but not just that. That is a game that not everyone should see and go, oh, that's a 9.6. I'll go get that game. No, that game may very well not be for you.
Exactly.
You have too many people who are into something so hardcore and they're ranking it, but that's not who you are. And this game is not a 9.6. It's not. But it's becoming dangerous to trust reviews. I honestly trust bad reviews more than good reviews for any game on any console anywhere.
I agree.
Because nobody gives a bad review. Like no publication gives a bad review for sport. They give a bad review because it's a bad game. They probably do it, and their editor's like, really? You're going to give it a 5? No, they've been giving us codes and everything. Like, that's harder to do.
I agree. So not to toot your own horn, John, but I'm going to do it for a second.
Honk.
But like the 90-second reviews, right, are powerful in a few ways because you're buying those games a lot of the time, right? So it's not like you have it.
95% of them, yeah.
You don't have an investment to say good, bad, medium, indifferent. It doesn't matter to you. You're legit just playing the game and giving your honest opinion, right? But those truly are the reviews you want to go after if you're looking at game reviews, because
You want to
there's
find
no
people you trust, yeah.
there's no judgment or judgment really against it, because you bought the game regardless. You didn't get anything for free. You didn't get a code for free. Now, I will say some of your reviews have gotten attention by developers that now maybe want to offer you a code or comment on a code, right? And some of those reviews were not all positive. I mean, we'll get into all the
I had
examples,
that
but
one. Yeah, what was that one game where the developer tweeted me back about it?
but he did it not in an asshole way. It was
No, yeah.
like, oh, thanks for the feedback, in a weird way.
It wasn't thanks to the feedback. It was like,
Well,
darn, or whatever. And it was like,
just
oh. But I didn't change my score. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was just, yeah, it's, you have to be careful. You have to read them, no matter what the scores are. I've seen 10 out of 10 reviews for games where they list out the things that weren't good. And it's like, well, why are you giving it a 10 out of 10? Like, you're literally
If
in
it's
your
a 10
own
out of
review.
10, zero negatives. For me to give a game a 10 out of 10, there needs to be zero negatives.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Like
It
Breath
does.
of the Wild. Breath of the
Give it a
Wild is
9.5. Give it a 9.
Breath of the
It should
Wild
be
is a
10.
10 because there are no 10 out of 10 games. That's the reality. If you go by perfection, there are no
Then there's
perfect
no
games,
1 out of 10s.
except
It's
for
all
Sayonara
artificial.
Wild Hearts. Yeah. You
That's
can
a 1
find
out of 10,
negatives in
yeah.
anything. There are negatives in Life is Strange. There's negatives in all my top games all have negatives.
There's no negatives in Ages of Mages.
But if you give it 10 out of 10 and then you're just like, oh, this was bad and this was bad and this was bad. And it's like, well, come on, these are major things, like, what are you doing here?
I hear
You do have to read them, but I feel like they're just, it's so easy to buy off review. And did you hear the little scandal where like Metacritic reviewers were being paid by movie companies to give good reviews?
Like Amazon reviews. It's hard to even trust those nowadays because half of those are bought off.
Absolutely. You're right. You have to read them and
people
whatever.
say there's a known fact people get like $3 if they write an Amazon review. And that's all they do. They just write Amazon reviews all day. They don't even have the fucking product sometimes. And they just write a review off of it.
Yeah, you write it.
So you do got to be careful. We could talk about this subject all night, but let's move on.
Let's move on. John,
they released Gargoyles Remastered. Old Disney show, Disney Gaming have been promoting it on their social media. I'll tell you what, the game looks cool. It looks fantastic if you're an old school Gargoyles fan from the show or the game. Unfortunately for me, I've just never really got into it. I think it was a little bit before my time. Might be too young. Are you a fan? What's your thoughts on Gargoyles as the franchise, I guess I would say?
I have no idea what that is, honestly. I think I looked at it and it looked nice. I don't know. Is Gargoyles a show? What is it?
It wasn't originally a Disney show.
Okay. Never heard of it.
But it was originally a game. I think it was around the Sega time frame, right?
Oh, really?
I don't know if it was on Super Nintendo or not as well, but have you at least seen the remastered? I mean, a lot of the good qualities of these remasters have where you can switch back and forth between like the old style and the new remastered style. It looks like, I think it's like a 2D platformer. If I could be totally wrong. But if you're not a fan and I'm not a fan,
cool little retro game or whatever, but yeah, I have no connection to it at all.
Well,
I guess I like the retro look. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. I don't have any connection to it.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry.
What else you got?
Hawaiian pizza is tearing apart my marriage. I want to know if this has happened to anybody else. Here's the deal. My wife likes pepperoni pizza. She likes sausage pizza. She likes meatball. She likes extra cheese. She likes all different kinds of pizza.
She likes the meat.
But she likes Hawaiian pizza too.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when we order pizza, she always has to fucking come up and like, I'll be like, all right, we're going to get an extra large pepperoni and then we'll get an extra cheese. And then she'll be like, can you order me a Hawaiian pizza? And I have to order like a fucking, you know how like pizza goes, right? If you get a small, it's like immediately like $12. And then
Yeah.
medium's like $15 or whatever. But
And
like
the small is literally like 25% of the large.
it's tiny and whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to get like a medium or whatever. And here I am now, like we're gonna make this little pizza order for a couple pizzas or whatever, and now it becomes 3 pizzas. And so it makes like your purchase bigger. Then she has like 2 pieces of pizza. And now we have fucking 6 pieces of pizza in the fridge. We're a family of 5. And because we only got 1 pepperoni, we always like eat it, it's gone. It's just gone. There was one time I only had 1 slice of pizza. And it's gone. There's no leftovers, but there's 6 fucking pineapple slice pizzas in the fridge.
That nobody
And the
wants.
solution is not to get another pepperoni pizza, because then we'll end up with a whole bunch of leftovers. And I
Sure.
don't want to buy
Just get 2 pizzas.
Right. But she likes pepperoni pizza. So why don't we just get 2 pepperoni pizzas? And then when we have leftovers, we can all have a slice of the leftovers. So now
Listen,
every
John.
time we talk about getting pizza, it's like, I don't want to get it because it's going to cost me way more and I'm going to have way less.
John, you're not going to like my answer here. Sometimes you just got to please the wife and just get her fucking Hawaiian pizza. That's it. There's no debate. There's no questioning. Yes, honey, I'll order you your own pizza. That's just what you got to do sometimes. And this is the case. If it's $12, $15, you just got to do it. I personally like Hawaiian pizza, but that's not even the point.
That's not the point.
Is you just got to make her happy sometimes. And
Drew,
maybe, just maybe, John, at the end of the day, there'll be a prize.
No, probably not even getting that either. You talked about having to play Disney's Illusion Island and you sacrifice, right? You sacrifice. I got to play Mario with the family. I sacrifice. Why can't we just get a pepperoni pizza? You like pepperoni too.
Because she doesn't want pepperoni every time. She wants to change it up.
She fucking Hawaiian every time too. Why maybe just change it and get a pepperoni for once? You
know what I did today? I ordered a large square pizza that was half cheese and half barbecue. Because maybe that's what you should do next time. Get the extra large pizza and say, well, Michelle, instead of just getting a whole, why don't we do like a pepperoni and then half pepperoni, half Hawaiian? Right? And then you get 4 slices of Hawaiian.
It's a bit more of a pain in the ass to order. And then sometimes when you get sometimes when you get those Hawaiian, the specialty pizzas, it's discounted. It's not like you're getting, you know what I mean? Like I can get a pizza with 2 toppings, but if I order the quote unquote Hawaiian pizza, you know, it's cheaper. And that's usually what happens.
Well, Sally cheese can only get pineapple and cheese. Sorry, honey, no ham. I don't know, John, but you just got to order it for her. That's what she wants. You're just going to have to suck it up. But do the half and half.
I think what you said is kind of the solution, even though getting the slices and maybe you pay extra because you're doing a half and half, but that's still going to be cheaper than buying a whole fucking pineapple pizza. That's got to end. All right. You saved my marriage, Drew.
I'm sorry. I'm here to help. Well, speaking of saving marriages and house chores, let's talk a little bit about fall cleaning because it is upon us. If you remember last year, I hired the hot and spicy Cassie. I think that was her name. I don't remember. House cleaner. Well, Cassie sucked, and we had to let her go. But
we did talk about that, right? Or was that
we did talk? I think we did talk. I think we did.
Okay. Yeah.
My new cleaners. I went with like one of those cleaning companies this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know they just come in with like 3 or 4 people and just dominate your house. Right. So I went with like once a month cleaning. $185. You think that's high?
$185? What do they clean?
They're cleaning all my bathrooms. I have 3 bathrooms, my entire kitchen, and the living area. But I said no bedrooms. I said, I don't need you to do the bedrooms. I can vacuum and dust the bedroom.
I think $185 is a pretty good price. That's tough work.
I thought it was too. Yeah. I think it was too. And they said they'll come with like 3 people. They'll probably do it in 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
You know? And so they come Wednesday. I'm excited for that.
Now, how often are you going to do it?
Once a month. Okay. But I mean, what do you stand? What's your cleaning situation?
We've never hired cleaners because I just don't want a bunch of people in my house, and I don't want to think about, do I tip them? And like, I don't know.
No, you don't tip.
I just clean. But
who wants to clean the bathrooms and the showers and the toilets? Like, I just don't have time to do that all the time.
I know. I don't feel comfortable I don't like when I have any service people in the house. And then it's like they're cleaning up your shower, and it's like I feel like I'd rather just clean the shower and not do that. And now, granted, they're getting paid to do it and they want the work,
Mm.
but it's just like I don't know. I guarantee you, my wife Michelle would be like, absolutely, please clean, because she always mentions the shower
Yeah.
and it's like dirty and whatever. And
You know
like
what
I
the best
guarantee
part about having cleaning people is? Like, I just spent this afternoon cleaning my house
Mhm.
for the cleaning people.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean cleaning, but like picking up the toys, picking up the town, like making sure there's no dishes. Like, you want
You got to
everything
do
to be
that anyway.
But my point is that it forces you to do that. Just like when you have people coming over your house,
Right.
it forces you to clean.
Right.
You know, where if I just had nothing going on this week and nobody was coming, yeah, maybe kids, leave your toys out. We'll pick them up later.
Yeah.
But now it's like, let's make sure that everything's nice and spotless.
Right. Yep.
So,
yeah, that's what I should do. I should be like, all right, we're going to hire cleaning people, clean the shower that you want to clean.
Mm.
I'm going to do it on a day where I'm not home.
yeah, that's fine. So I did ask, what's this window cleaning spiel here that you have down?
So I had my windows cleaned about a year ago. I had
Mhm.
never cleaned my windows in the 9 years we had lived here.
But exterior, interior?
Interior and exterior. I
Okay.
never had it done. I can't remember why, but I know like when I look at my windows, there was some, grit on it. And I was like, we should clean the windows. And they did it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, that was really nice. Like, I never just thought to do it. It wasn't that expensive. I gave them a huge tip because I thought it was cheaper because they had to go on ladders and go on my roof and all that. And then like some months later, we had our house painted. And the first thing they did was power wash the house. So we got the windows all dirty. And I had said afterwards, I'm going to call the window cleaners again. And it took months and months and months. But finally, it was a few weeks ago. It was right after our thing. The window cleaner came back again and they cleaned the windows. And it was like everything was happy again. But I don't know if I would do this regularly. I wouldn't do this
once
monthly
a year
or 3 months. I don't even know if I do it yearly because, rain will make them dirty again or whatever. Maybe like every 5 years or something like that, or whatever.
I think that's fair. I mean, I agree. Cleaning the windows blow. I mean, I do have like the newer windows that fold into the house,
right?
So I could actually but it's the shit that I always have a problem with is like the inside window sills. How it's hard to get even like a paper towel or sponge because it's uneven surface and the cracks. How do you get in the cracks? So
right.
They cleaned all of that even?
No, they just cleaned the glass.
Okay, just the glass.
Yeah. It's all I really need. Because a lot of we have a second floor and like I physically cannot clean those windows. I'm terrified of heights. I don't even have a ladder. And even if you go up there, like how it is, there's a certain way to wipe a window. If you do it wrong, you just get streaks.
I hear you.
And they have they have the little tool and they do the little flip and it's perfect. They do it and it's great.
It's
definitely
like your car
worth
windshield. You never get your car windshield clean enough, I feel like.
Oh yeah, that's just you just use that stuff. But yeah, if you've ever like looked at your window and you see rain spots and all this stuff, and it's like sometimes you have to think and go, oh, you can actually hire a window cleaner, and it is really nice. So I don't know. All right, let's go back to some gaming questions we have.
Let's do that
from the listeners. As the Cowboys are just curb stomping the Giants. I can hear my brother crying in New York from here.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Platypus asks, if you could play a Switch game with any world leader, which game and which leader?
That's an odd one.
This was such a hard question. I have an answer. First of all, the world leader was difficult to decide on because there's not many world leaders I can imagine that I want to like play. And if we're talking about current world leader or past world leader,
whatever I guess floats your boat.
What's that?
Whatever floats your boat.
Oh, okay. If we're talking about any world leader, it's going to be Barack, right? He just seems like he'd be the coolest person to hang out with. I don't know if he plays video games. He loves sports. So we would play probably NBA Jam. I think he loves basketball. He would do the bracket every year. And play some old school NBA Jam. That's what I would do. If I had to go with a current world leader, the only freaking world leader I would want to play with would be like Justin Trudeau, because he seems like a nerd. I think he had video game socks on at one point too. And then I thought maybe we'd play some I don't know, Super Meat Boy 1-on-1 or something like that. Nobody wants to play Super Meat Boy with me 1-on-1. Maybe Justin would. How about you?
This is a tough question for me. I'm not really into politics, as you know, John.
It's not politics. It's world leaders.
World leaders is
Pick
politics.
a fucking world leader.
I don't even know if I can name 3.
Current?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of fictional ones, to be honest.
You don't want to play. You don't want to play Super Mario Wonder with Joe Biden.
No,
that generation doesn't play video games.
I'd rather play with my kids.
I know, yeah. I mean, most world leaders skew older, and you got to find someone who's a little younger in the bracket, you know?
I'm sorry, Platypus. I just don't have an answer for this. Can we count like Lord Voldemort as a world leader or something? I don't know.
Wow. There's got to be some chick world leader we have to find for you.
Yeah, find me some hot chick. That's who I pick. And I'd play some like strip poker game with her.
Why don't you read us the next question? Hopefully there's no world leaders involved here.
Comes from Texas Trey. What does your heart want from a possible September Direct? And what does your mind think will actually be on there? It's a good question.
Sometimes we put, like we talked about this before the show. Sometimes I paste these and don't even read them.
Well, it's like
I like the surprise. This one I did not read.
This is one of those ones you want to try to prepare, but at the same time, I like the surprise, and I don't like to read them. So it's good and bad.
Oh boy!
So let's start with the first half.
This could be this week, by the way. The direct could be this week.
It could. Do you still think we're getting one?
I hope we get one. I am not as sold that we're definitely getting one. We just had one. Remember they did a late one this year after E3, right? It was like July.
August.
I think it was July.
August. If we get one, I don't think there'll be a lot of new games. I think there'd be this is going to be what I think is going to happen. I think there'll be a lot of what we already know, maybe some more information, maybe some more third-party-ish type stuff. I think we've seen everything that's coming this year. I truly believe from Nintendo. Do you believe that?
I think so, but it's hard to believe that Nintendo RPG, what is it? Super Mario RPG. There's going to be a game that comes out later than that. It's loaded. I can't imagine a game coming before that. So I don't think we're getting anything else.
About the new WarioWare, right? So we got WarioWare this year, Mario Wonder, and Super Mario RPG. It's already September, middle of September. That's 3. Maybe they're not all AAA games, but that's 3 big Nintendo games, right?
And 2 of those are coming out in November. So
are we missing anything else that's like Nintendo
specific? No, it's Wario, Mario. And then there's a Pokemon DLC coming out soon too.
Do you think we could see? I don't think we would, like a Zelda remake of any of the older games, or even a port.
It's possible.
That I guess you know what I could see before the end of the year. A port of some sort.
Ooh, I like the rhyme.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I could foresee, and then we'd get some more third-party type stuff.
Yeah, because we have Mario Wonder October 20th, and WarioWare and Mario RPG by November 17th, but we don't have anything in September.
But they're not going to just shadow drop a first-party game.
No, little Metroid 2. They talked about the Metroid Prime 2 as possible. Something small, maybe like a remastered Zelda. I don't think so, but I could definitely see. We got Pokemon coming out next. Pokemon's coming out this week. I could see a Metroid Prime being shadow dropped on a Nintendo Direct this week.
We also did not get a Mario sports game this year, which typically we always get something of that nature.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with the Mario sports games. I don't think they're.
What about
up
Mario
to snuff.
Baseball, John? We haven't had one of those in years.
I'd just be disappointed. I was a little disappointed by Mario Strikers, a little disappointed by the Mario Tennis, a little disappointed by Mario Golf. I'm done.
Oh my! Did those words just come out of your mouth? What was wrong with
Yeah.
Mario Golf? It had like 30 characters and all these courses and
Yeah, but
online modes and
it's golf.
badges. Like, what do
It's
you
not gonna be
mean?
my game.
We need a Mario Superstars remake. That game was good.
Yeah, but I just don't know if it'll fly. And like I liked Mario Strikers, but yeah, it just didn't have the tail that I thought it would.
I could see a Mario basketball game. I know we had the 3v3 one on DS, whatever it was. I could see a Mario basketball game coming out.
It's
And I don't
possible.
know if I'd love it, but I'd play it.
Yeah, I think Mario Aces. What is it called?
Yeah, Aces.
Yeah, that one was the best of the sports games.
Oh my,
But the
that's the worst.
campaign mode was still a little disappointing. No, it's just because I think I enjoyed playing tennis more than the golf, and then more I loved Strikers, but playing it online wore down
I think
quickly.
Strikers was great. I'll say it out loud.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I don't think it was that bad. I think it could have used more of an offline mode. They built the game for online. That was what they wanted. That's what
it
they did.
was.
But I
Yeah,
think
the
they could have had the
campaigns
robots.
I didn't like the campaigns. It just felt very repetitive and grindy. They just need to put a little more time in them. That's just what I want to see.
So what's your dream? What's your dream of something coming out before the end of the year? Right?
My dream, I still want to see, and I really don't need any more games. I think we're drowning in games, but I would love to see a Zelda remake, Adventure of Link remake, or Wind Waker. Just a little Zelda adventure, just a port. I'm not expecting anything new, of course. Just give me a port, a remake, or something nice from the past that I can just sink in and get my Zelda on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting close to wanting to replay Link's Awakening and try to complete that a little bit more. It's just, I'm just in the mood to sit down and play a classic Zelda.
I'm getting close to playing Ocarina of Time, and I hate to say it, but I want to play it.
Yeah.
I do want to play
it. You're not so big into replaying games, but I've been wanting to replay Elden Ring. I want to replay Blasphemous. I'd like to replay games.
Remember I played Majora's Mask last year or so, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it.
My heart, I want the Switch 2. I want the Switch 2 rumor that we read before with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's competing with a PS5. No fucking way. But if it's a PS4, I'm ecstatic. I want that to just be true. I want that to be announced this week. But that's not going to happen.
It's not happening. That's not happening before Christmas. I'm fully on board with that at this point. We will not see Switch 2 before Christmas. That's like a January, February direct. I think is when we will see it. I enjoy the Mario sports games. I do agree with you, John. They come and go quick for me. Besides golf stayed a long time. They usually will stick for about 2 to 3 months, and then they've served their purpose and we all move on. No Mario sports game is ever going to stay longer than that, no matter what the online community says. It's not going to. But I'll take another one for the holidays. Give me, I really don't like basketball, but I'll take it.
Right.
I'll take a Mario basketball, but I think that is something that we could see on the board. But then again, I don't know. We're getting 2 Mario games already. Well, they're going to throw a third one in there?
No. And I think just in terms of realistic, I remember we used to have these debates all the time. What do we want to see from the direct or whatever? There's just so many games to play. I don't need anything. And it sounds weird to say, but it's there's so much. I just need a break. Let me catch up. Let me play the games I want to play. Games I want to play again and whatever. There's so much. We just don't need them. And August was tough. September is crazy. October is nuts. November is nuts. I don't need anything. I'm just going to enjoy it. And there's nothing really that I can really dream of that I want to see.
Agreed. Great question, Trey. I'm going to follow up. He has another one here. He says, my wife and I have been watching The Witcher on Netflix and she likes it. What are the odds I could parlay that into having her play The Witcher 3 with me? Is there enough story in the game to keep her somewhat interested? And how does it match up with the story in TV shows? So I'm guessing this means he has never played Witcher 3. He's watching the show, though. Is that the way you read this question?
Well, he's saying that they've been watching the show. Can he have his wife join in on a play? It sounds like he hasn't played The Witcher.
That's what I'm getting
at. Okay.
I would say absolutely. I think you could get her involvement with some of those side quests. The only problem with The Witcher 3 and having someone else watch you could be some of the dialogues in the town and playing Gwent if you get into that thing. And doing some of that stuff. But when you get into the side quests, I think she'll be locked in. There's some really cool side quests that send you to some haunted mansions and to some islands and to some caves. And I think that stuff can get really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, again, depending if she likes the show, I think the game is better than the show. Would you agree with that?
I think it just depends. Yeah,
Yeah.
she likes the show. I think it would be interesting to see what the characters look like in the game because there's a lot of characters from there.
Overlap, yeah.
Yeah, and it just depends on how does she regularly watch you play games, Trey,
That's a good
or
point, too.
is it like passive? Because it can be a long game. I mean, if you play it through and play a bunch of side quests and whatever, you can get it done in like 60 hours. But if you try to do all the side quests, it'll take you about 100 or like more, depending how crazy you want to be.
Mhm.
I doubt you're gonna do that. But yeah, no, it's a really fun game to watch, and it's an incredible game. I did a top 10 list of my favorite PlayStation games, and it was number 8 all time. So it is an incredible game, and like I've played it through a bunch of times. It's fantastic. So I think she would enjoy it, but she might also drop off after a while. After watching some of the early scenes and whatever.
Mhm.
But what you have to do is finish the storyline for like Kira Metz, and then you bang her in the forest, and just look over and see what her reaction is, and see if she's interested.
Yeah. I like that idea. Maybe I'll leave it in the imagination. All right, John, what's the next question we got?
We got a question from Beer Cerveza. He's everywhere now. He is winning
Everywhere.
contests, Nintendo dads, everywhere. Everyone seems to be satisfied with Nintendo's decision to not release DLC for TOTK. Are we satisfied? Do you agree? Will opinions change a year from now when the news has worn off? Interested in your thoughts.
This is a great question. I will say Tears of the Kingdom, there's so many side quests that I know many of us have not finished all of them, right? You could always jump back in and say, you know what, I want to jump back in for 5 or 10 hours, and I'm just going to focus on doing these side adventures or side quests until I finish them. I personally did get worn out. I think I did the entire depths. I know I did every single light route. I think I did most of this. I think I left like a dozen shrines left. Now they're easy to find because I did the light routes. But I was saying to myself, well, I'll go back in and I'll play those when the DLC comes, and I'll do some of the more side missions, and it'll try to motivate me to get back into it for 20 to 25 hours. If that never happens, there's a good chance I don't jump back in. I'll be honest. But at the same time, there is so much content there. I kind of agree. I don't think it's needed, but I also think it's an easy $15 to $20 for Nintendo if they really wanted to. But with that being said, if they truly have a new console coming out within the next 12 to 18 months, maybe they're ready. They want to get a new Zelda game on there as quick as possible. And if they had to put the development team on this DLC for even 3 months, that's 3 months that maybe those same developers aren't working on a new Zelda game.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of time. So I kind of get it that they've moved on. They put 5-6 years into it. They're not putting any more time into it. And I'm okay with it. I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think you need the whole team working on a DLC.
No,
but you're right.
but
If they're immediately working on like the end of the trilogy or something like that,
yeah,
fantastic. I was hoping for DLC, like you said, it gets you back into the game, and I'm curious to see. But yeah, there was so much content. If there's not DLC, I thought there would be DLC. I guess not. I'm not like angry or anything like that. I am a little surprised, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an amazing game. I still have a lot to do.
Yep.
Beer Surveys also asks, ironically, does pineapple belong on pizza? Well, let me tell you what, Beer. No, it fucking doesn't, and we should stop buying it. I will say, Drew, when we got Pizza Hut at Kuz's house, he ordered one with did I talk about this? He ordered one with pepperoni, banana peppers, and pineapple.
Olives? Pineapple.
And then pineapple. And it was actually really good. I think the banana peppers, meshed a little bit better with the pineapple than usually you get ham or Canadian bacon or something. So maybe my problem wasn't necessarily the pineapple. It was that I needed pepperoni and banana peppers on it.
You need something with the pineapple. I agree. I love pineapple on the pizza. I just love pineapple in general. It's the sweetness of it. But I agree. If you put that on a pizza with certain things, you got to experiment. I like putting a little meatball with it, maybe a little black olive. You got to counter it. But I do agree that banana pepper was a good touch with that little sweet and then a sweet spice.
Mm-hmm.
It does belong. It does belong.
Right. Yep. I don't agree, but that's fine. I think if you like pineapple on pizza, then you should be able to get your pineapple on pizza. Clearly enough
You
people
don't believe
like
that because you don't fucking buy Michelle one.
Well, if I was going to go grab some pizza for myself, maybe some night the family was away and I was going to play some Mario and I was going to order a pizza and whatever, go whole hog, I would never get pineapple.
Now, see, if I were to do what you just said, pineapple would be out on my pizza 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah. So if you want it, you go get it. Everyone's got their thing. Darth Platypus is back. Question number 2. Do you think the new Mario voice will be similar to the one we know from the games, or will they take this chance to change it somewhat? That's a good question.
It is interesting. We kind of talked a little bit about this last week, how we said Charles Martinet created the voice of Mario, which is now set in our mind forever, and it has been for the last X number of years. I mean, look what Chris Pratt, I'd say, did try to recreate a little bit. At the end of the day, I think it's this Italian plumber guy from Brooklyn. They're obviously staying with that. They just made a whole movie about it. It's part of the lore. So I think you're always going to have that little bit of this Italian blue collar worker guy, even though he's off in these adventure fantasy lands. At the end of the day, that's still who Mario is. So I don't think they're going to try to change that, right? That's the character. That's his lore. That's who he is. Sure, it might sound a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to be too different, is my opinion.
Yeah, I think the voice will stay the same, but I totally agree with Platypus on this. It would be a great time to make a change. Give it more voice, or this is your chance to just pull off the Band-Aid and make that change, because games do have more voice acting now, but we still don't really have Mario talking. So maybe Mario starts talking now. I don't think that will happen.
No, me either.
I think there's a model for Mario's voice, and they're just going to stick with it, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it's fine. I don't think we'll see it. No Chris Pratt though. No. Also, Darth Platypus, as the NFL season starts, who do you like for the Superb Owl? Now, I don't know if he said Superb Owl on purpose or not, but I love it. It's one of my favorite typos, so I'm keeping it.
Okay.
Who do you like for the Superb Owl?
I'm going to go with what's his name from Zelda. What's his name? He has a weird name. What's the owl from Zelda's name? It's like Kapora something or Kapora.
I don't know. Kapora Gabora. That's a good call. I don't
originally from Link's Awakening, right? Is that where they first came from?
I guess so. Yeah, I kind of remember the owl. King's Quest V has an owl, and the owl's name is Cedric, which is hilarious to me.
Oh, can't forget the one and only what's his name from Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah. What's the freaking owl's name in Harry Potter?
Oh my God, why don't we know that? I know this. It's
we got to look it up. I'm freaking looking up the owl's name in Harry Potter.
What's wrong with us?
Oh, Hedwig. That's right.
Hedwig.
I don't even see it on the screen, but I remembered as I'm staring at it.
Yeah.
Football is always full of surprises. That one of the reasons why football has gone down in my mind over the last several years. I'm really kind of down on it, mostly because the Broncos haven't been very good. Although I like what I saw today, even though they lost. But it's all about injuries. Look at the Chiefs. True. The Chiefs lost. Yeah, there were some drops. The Chiefs lost because they didn't have Travis Kelce. Can you imagine if Travis Kelce tore his ACL? The Chiefs are not going to the Super Bowl, right? That's
crazy.
If Patrick Mahomes tears an ACL, well, he'll probably play next week, but the Chiefs aren't going to a Super Bowl. So it's such an injury-driven sport. You just try to enjoy watching, but you are at the mercy of an ACL. The Ravens starting running back blew his Achilles out today. And, you know, I'm sure a ton of people picked him in the first and second round, and that's it. It's over. You know, it's just hard to come back from that sort of thing. So, but, you know, it seems like the Chiefs and the Niners are still the class of the NFL by far. I don't see any other. What are the other super teams? I mean, I can't even really think of a team.
49ers looked pretty good today.
Yeah, they played Pittsburgh, but yeah, they were good all last year, and you know, Purdy still looks good. Who else is good? I mean, Jacksonville seems to be on the rise a little bit. You know, the Jets have Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers knows where the Super Bowl exists.
No, but they could be good too. You don't know. You just don't know.
The Bills are a threat, you know. But like it doesn't seem like either league has anybody in the class of the Niners and the Chiefs. But I will say it's going to be the Denver Broncos versus
going to be the Denver Broncos,
the Dallas Cowboys in a rematch from the 70s. How about that? I will say Russ looked like Russell Wilson today, and it was really nice to see. Their offense, like Sean Payton is the coach. The playbook is huge. He has this giant sheet. I mean, they were doing plays they never did last year. Russell Wilson lost 15 pounds because he had gained weight last year because they were going to change the kind of quarterback he is because our head coach was an idiot. And he lost 15 pounds. He was nimble, quick, evading sacks. They were throwing faster. It was so good. But the Broncos, unfortunately, only had, this is crazy, Drew. The Broncos had 6 possessions the entire game.
That's it?
6.
Wow.
And Russell Wilson led them to touchdowns on 2 of them, a field goal try on a 3rd. But because our new kicker missed the field goal and missed the first extra point of the game, we lost 17-16. But they look so much better. And yeah, you're not gonna go from 5 wins to undefeated season or whatever. So we'll see how they do next week. That it'll take a little bit of time, but the Broncos looked so much better. But yeah, probably Chiefs and Niners. Luckily, Tom Brady will not be in the Super Bowl this year. Fantastic.
It will not be. Well, John, with that, I think that's wrapping us up. What do we have coming up the next couple of weeks?
It is, what is it? We're recording this September 10th. We are in the middle of insanity release hell. There's so much to play. It is absurd. We have, of course, everyone's game that they're waiting for, Myth Force, which my partner added to this list. It comes out September 12th. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. It's called The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. And it comes in 2 parts. The first part is the Teal Mask. That comes out September 13th. Gunbrella comes out September 13th. That's from Devolver Digital. Did I get it right? Devolver Digital.
You did. You did get it right.
Got it right. That looks like a really cool little indie game. Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 Remastered comes out September 14th. We're only up to September 14th here. Gloomhaven, which I think is based on a board game. That comes out September 18th. Lies of P, that is not a Switch game.
Porn.
But it's a big release. Looks super cool. Looks like a FromSoft game. That comes out for other consoles. I think it's on Game Pass. September 19th. Mortal Kombat 1 comes out September 19th. What a day. There. Lies of P and Mortal Kombat 1, which looks super cool.
Lies of
and
P.
The only reason I'm not buying Mortal Kombat 1 is because I don't need 2 freaking fighting games in my life. And then September 21st, Days of Doom, which is coming to the Switch. A little under the radar indie game, but do keep an eye out for a first look being released that day from the Nintendo dads and maybe one of us.
That looks fun. Looks like your cup of tea.
Yeah. So, yep, lots coming out. And if you think that list is bad, just wait until the next 2 lists that we read out because it's just getting
I'm going to fall into the trap of Myth Force or Gunbrella. Once I finish Sea of Stars, that's going to be my debate.
Gunbrella looks like the better game.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I mean, maybe it's my chance to get into a Myth Force and give it a try.
You still got to finish Sea of Stars, though. So
I did a long. You know me. I'm going to hit a stride. Well, I'll finish in like 3 days. But I I don't know what happened to my time. It's just this weekend disappeared.
Disappeared.
I need to work from
Disappeared
home
like
day.
the Giants' offense.
All
Alrighty,
right, then. That's it. That's the show.
Yeah, let's not make it another 2 weeks. We'll be back with something.
We'll be back next week. We have some ideas.
Yeah, we got ideas. All right, man.
Alrighty, dude.
Good night, Drew.
Peace.
Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including Google, Overcasts, and whatever. If you're using Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. You know you want to. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Leave us a voicemail with Spotify for podcasters and we'll play it on our next show. Check our podcast description for the link. Follow us on Threads or TikTok at NDadsAfterDark. Say hello, won't you? A big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. That's all for tonight. Good night, you sexy dads. Sweet dreams.